Good afternoon, friends, fans, and fam. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, welcome, welcome. What is going down? How in the hell are you all? I'm, as you can hear, a little bit rough at the moment. I caught something at the end of last week. I don't know if I caught what the toddler had had or if I've got something else. I'm sick of being sick. I'm sick of coughing up everything all the time. But other than that, I'm feeling pretty good. Except for the fact that today is probably the only stream for this week. We'll see about Friday, but for now, this might be it. I have another surgery on Thursday, and normally that would mean I could be here tomorrow, but I've had to shift some other medical stuff around. So I'm not going to get to be here tomorrow either, which is, I know, I'm sorry. They have been very sporadic, very few and far between of late, but for those of you that are still coming through, still coming to hang out, still opting to spend your time when and where we can with me, I truly, truly, truly thank you. It means so much, and maybe none of you are here yet because we're only just getting underway, but if you go back and you're watching this later, just know that it means so much to me that those of you that can do turn up when I can turn up. I know the secret to success is to have a schedule and to stick to the schedule, but when you're as frequently unwell as I am, it's just not reality. It's just not possible. And I'm sorry for that. And for those of you that still give me your time and still give me the honor of your subscription and things like that, just know I really appreciate it. It really, really helps. It really, 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 really is just so kind of you to come and hang out and make it worth doing this stuff. I love it. I love being able to play silly cowboy games and chat with you all and interact with everybody and talk about our lives. You are my outlet to coping with a lot of everything that's going on right now, so thank you for that. Turtle! Hey, buddy. How you doing? How's Wild? You wild today? Also, sorry if I keep coughing. That's gonna happen a lot today. Oh my gosh. Three a.m.'s a little bit excessive. Hey Zach, what's up, dude? How you doing, homie? Oh, hell yeah. I was just saying I'm doing okay. But it's going to be a tough week. This might be the only stream this week. I've got a big surgery coming up on Thursday, my time. Which means I've got to shift some other medical stuff around tomorrow. And it's just a bit of a mess. And Thursday's surgery is kind of a big one. If they can't fix my foot, if they can't get clear margins on the cancer, they're going to have to talk amputation of my below knee, which is kind of scary. Not being able to walk around and not knowing when I'll be able to stand up and, carry my daughter around and stuff. Yeah, kind of makes me, yeah, it's rough. Thank you, man. Thank you.
Hello there.
Aw, thank you, dude. Yeah. Hopefully this week, the good surgeon on, they can get it done, and thank you, dude. Oh, that's very kind of you. Oh, wait, we got another telegram coming in, don't we? Gotta wait 2 minutes. I never noticed this before. There is a gun cabinet here. What do we got? Oh, we got a rolling block. Is that 2 rolling blocks? Yeah, looks like 2 rolling blocks. A double barrel. Is that an Evans? Howdy, Bash. What's up? Oh, good. She's not here to protect Bill. We'll get that bastard. Get him. Man, I tried to get him the other day. I don't know what happened. I just couldn't keep up. One second. It's funny 'cause it's true. Bill gotta get got. Howdy.
1 second, Tyrell. I have a telegram from you. Let me read it.
Okay. Okay, well, I'm busy reading one from your husband, so take your time.
Ugh, he didn't telegram me.
Guess he loves me more.
Mm. Mm.
Ooh, what's your new job? That doesn't count for losing your hat. It's right there, I can see it.
I don't know what you mean. I'm gonna push it under the desk and then we'll see what happens.
Okay. I was gonna say, you don't know what's been on this floor. I wouldn't lie down there for too long if I was you.
It's Langston's. So I don't want to like lose the hat because it's sentimental to Langston, but
Mm-hmm. But you don't want to
it's
wear it.
also dark and we're inside.
You know hats aren't about keeping the sun off, right?
That's literally the way that the boss has convinced me to wear one.
Are you stealing from us?
Thinking about it.
Anything there worth taking?
I've never had a jawbone knife. Dropping off some repeater rounds that I'm not going to use. I need a chair like this in my office. All I've got
Where?
is that cell with that weird guy in it.
I was gonna say, where even is your office? Is Bryce wanted at all right now? Oh my god. Oh my god. Is Bryce wanted? My god.
I don't even know why they keep him in there. Should I let him out? I don't know. Did he commit a crime? It's the Army's business.
Court martial, maybe?
I don't know. He could have done anything.
It's a crime.
Only a criminal if it's a crime. Is that what you said?
Oh god. What Deputy
Are you
Green
having a
do
stroke?
now?
Alright, I got it. Someone lock this sick fuck
Howdy.
away.
Huh? It's only criminal if it's
Oh.
a crime, sir.
Yep.
What'd you do?
What'd you
Nothing
do
at all. You
now,
think-
Green?
He thinks. What do you mean? What did I do now? It's not me who has a criminal record.
That's
Apparently. I'm clean. Clean as green. That's not a saying.
It could be for other
No,
people,
it ain't
I
because
guess.
it's not for sale. So it ain't owned by the bank.
Sorry, what?
It ain't up for sale, so it's not owned by the bank.
It isn't?
Feel free to go. I mean, your property office is next door. Feel free to look at the listings.
true. Which one? What are we
Catfish
talking about?
Jackson.
Catfish Jackson's?
No,
it's
actually,
sold.
there was an auction about that one.
Mhm,
Actually,
yeah.
Oh, is that Catfish Jackson? I thought that was Crawdad Willie's. I get them confused.
Crawdad is the one Crawdad is the one you could see from the dock. The like shack that's in it near Shady Bell, kind of. Stone's throw away.
Ah, okay. Okay, so that's Catfish. That is Catfish Jackson's. Okay.
It's real
The,
cute right down there.
Yeah, the shed house with the big house. That's Catfish Jackson.
Okay.
Also, fellas making dynamite in there. Either that or is very bad at cooking.
Most likely make
So
it
if there was an
dynamite.
auction, who bought it?
I wasn't at the auction. I just know there was an auction.
Oh, okay.
I wasn't there.
Millie, please tell us
Yeah.
why you bought the house.
No, I bought another house. I live near Pleasance. With
You-
my roomie.
You live near Pleasance?
Yeah.
I hope you don't
I-
drink from the well.
Yeah.
Don't
No,
drink from
no.
the well.
We don't drink from the well. It's like right outside Pleasance. It's not in Pleasance. It's on a hill.
Yeah, but it'd be from the same groundwater. Any wells.
Well, it's higher up, so it doesn't count.
The well would just be deeper then.
I agree with that.
But I use water from there for my bread baking, which Richard Garland stole
And used as a weapon.
and used it because it was slightly burned. And now I feel like I'm an accomplice.
Maybe you should share cooking tips.
Check what?
Share cooking tips.
I do need some help.
Posey burns coffee. I don't know how
Hey,
that's possible.
shut the fuck up. That's not true.
Coffee tastes like it's burned anyway.
First of all, I'm a fabulous cook. Everybody
Mhm.
likes my jam. Second,
Is that like a metaphor?
Are you?
no, I
sa-
make very
do you
good
mean
jam.
euphemism?
Oh, euphemism.
I make great
That's what
jam.
I mean.
Kind
I'd
of
like-
lumpy.
I'd like to clear the record that my name is not Marilyn Green, and I have no relation to this person. Because
Sounding
I'm
pretty defensive.
no, I just like to. You probably have a record on someone, from what I hear. That's similar to my name, but it's not me, and it's no relation to me.
So why
Why
do
is
you
he
know they're
leaving?
wanted then?
Because Langston keeps saying that's my alias.
Can you prove it's not?
Well, I'm proving it now by saying it's not me, right?
So your word is your alibi.
My innocence is my alibi.
Where have we heard that before?
Can't
Really?
prove a negative, right? Ain't that what I'm trying to say?
Am I digging myself a bigger hole? A deeper well?
No, they're just crazy.
Could
It's
also be true.
Marilyn.
Put your hand up if you're. No, I won't do that.
Hmm?
I was gonna say, put your
It's
hand up.
only criminal, if not criminal.
Mm-hmm.
You know, something cannot be criminal and still be wrong.
Take Langston here, for example.
Do I not have a telegram from you confessing to attempting to break into an owned property?
Nope. I said I
you sure?
didn't go inside because I didn't have a screwdriver.
What do you need a screwdriver for?
To pick a lock.
See, he's a criminal.
Blasphemy.
Oh, don't you have a question for him?
Yes. Why do you have a record in Valentine, and what's it for? And why?
What's it for and why?
Yeah. Did you do crime?
Yes, he did.
Yeah, technically. I
Was
can't
it
actually
before you were
remember what
marshal?
the charge was. No,
Oh,
God,
he was
no.
fully a marshal.
Mm,
You did crime while you were a lawman.
absolutely.
Yeah, like you're doing right now.
Mm-hmm.
No, I'm not doing crime. I have a clear record. What? You don't remember what the charge was for?
He remembers.
I can't read it because I'm not allowed to.
Now, apparently records are not for the amusement of the U.S. Marshal Service, though.
Yeah, that's
What's
what
that
we've been
mean?
told.
Who
Mm,
wrote that one?
Pretty sure that was Dumont.
So we gotta find Dumont.
And do what? Are you planning to kill the Chief Deputy Marshal, Millicent?
Wow, that escalated quickly.
Billy, that's not nice.
I would not. I would never. I'm not an orphan.
That's very defensive.
Not saying that any
That
orphan
is a
would
very
do.
specific defense as well.
Really, you shouldn't put that on all orphans.
I forgot.
Are
We
you
have to
the-
go to road. I have the orphan's journal. You have to read it. It's very important.
Okay.
And you do know that he's staying at your docks, possibly, probably.
I heard a rumor. Yeah. Did your sheriff get that life warrant sorted out?
Oh yes, we went to the courthouse. We sat on a big table. We got blueberry muffins. It was delicious.
Oh, so you saw Van Dam.
We saw a man that he had a slight accent.
Yeah.
That's light.
I was being polite.
Langston don't understand that.
No,
He's never
No.
tried it.
I don't think it's in his
I will
nature.
not- I didn't take that from Tyrell Sackett.
Notice he didn't say, I would not take that from Posey Langston because I am very polite.
You know, when you're not drunk, responding to a bank robbery.
You were drunk responding to a drunk bank robbery.
Pretty sure it
Yeah,
was
but
your
then I
bank.
backed out of it the moment that there was somebody else who could take it.
Which bank was it?
Pretty sure it was yours.
Rhodes.
What? When was this? Long time ago, then.
August, maybe?
Mm, So
September?
long ago.
That's like a year ago.
Like 2 boyfriends ago.
Oh,
Mm.
that's how you count time.
Ty didn't get a bounty, no. He turned himself in when he heard there were charges.
Yeah, me too.
I could if I wanted to.
You're incredible.
Thank you.
Teach me. Anyway, you should read Orphan's journal because there's confessions in there. It's very scary. It was like reading a horror story,
Oh, God. Okay.
but it's also a bit sad.
Because of the orphan thing.
Yeah, apparently he's an orphan. Who would have thunk?
Yeah, how did you come to that conclusion, investigator?
Well, it was in
Sorry.
there.
Was it
Could
the
have been
title
just a
of the
nickname.
journal?
No. No, it wasn't. It's just the orphan's journal because he's called the orphan and it's a journal. You should come to Rhodes and read it sometime.
All right.
Sometime soon, probably.
All right, we'll try and do that. Today I have to take a recruit to tour the courthouse here and then out to Sisika.
Woo, Sisika.
Yeah. Good times. Tour in Sisika.
Yeah.
Sounds exciting and scary.
I think I'd been out to Sisika like a half dozen times before I even got hired.
For your crimes in Valentine.
No, for escorting prisoners with helping other marshals.
I think he
Oh.
served in a local cell for his crimes in Valentine.
I don't think I even served time. It was just a fine.
But fine for what? You don't remember?
Was it abduction?
What?
I can't remember exactly what the charge was in the end.
You took someone.
Yeah, I helped other people take someone, apparently. According to the judge. Well, according to Valentine, anyway.
Like kidnapping.
Like arresting without
Exactly
declaring
like.
the arrest. Yep.
Oh, it was like a crime like that.
Mm-hmm.
Mm. So you were trying to do good.
What, you think illegal arrests are good? You want to arrest people without
I
due
s-
process, Millie?
I said you tried to do good.
Arresting innocent people with no evidence is good. Oh my god. We need to pass the Rhodes record, see how many innocent people got offered 2020.
I need to go.
Okay, let's be honest here. The fella we were trying to catch was absolutely not innocent. There was nothing innocent about that man. He was
See?
incredibly guilty of the things he'd done.
Tyrell also executes random people in the street because they look mean.
Huh?
Wow, that's a lie.
He did do that once. He did throw someone in jail, sentence them to death, and then firing squad them, all in the span of 10 minutes.
Because they looked evil.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because he is judge, jury, executioner.
Due process?
very
What
confused.
is that? I missed that class.
You know what? You should go tell Dumont about this. Tyrell told me he'll kill me if I tell Dumont, so you should tell Dumont.
Is this a joke that's going over my head? Or is it
Hey-
serious?
Most things go over your head. But yes.
It's true.
Habeas
But I'm
corpse
trying
is
my best.
how I like to call it.
Habeas corpse. habeas corpse this.
Sorry, that was also
No,
a joke.
Jarosaka did not kill someone.
Okay.
Well, he did not
Mm.
execute someone.
He has
He's
absolutely
killed people.
killed people.
I've also executed people, let's be honest.
Oh,
They did
in a formal legal
it was a
execution
formal
way.
legal execution, but yeah, I've done that a couple of times.
I don't do that.
I don't know if I could.
Yeah, it's a moral thing. I don't know.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I like to shoot people when they have guns in their hands.
I'd rather have them
Evidence to
not
the
have guns
contrary.
in them.
Yeah, people are gonna be executed. I'd really rather they didn't get a gun in their hand. That just seems like you're asking for trouble. Listen, it's been a long time since I've had to kill somebody. I'm okay with it staying that way.
I've only accidentally killed people.
That's worse.
Yeah.
People plural. Then it's an accident.
Ew.
That's like Richard
Well-
Garland accidentally set stuff on fire.
Mm-hmm.
Like the outhouse.
Exactly like the outhouse.
It burned really well.
That's what happens when you set shit on fire.
Yeah. You think it's just a rumor, but it's true. Can't
It's
talk about this in
extremely
roads.
flammable. Does it upset your sheriff?
Yeah. I'm worried it does.
I
Gotta
mean,
protect his honor.
he got blown up in the shitter. Of course he's upset.
Don't say that.
It's a traumatic situation.
It is. I can't talk about it. I feel so bad. He corrects us. You say near the shitter. He was outside of it, you would say.
Mm-hmm.
Poor back kid.
Do you feel that that is a important distinction,
He feels
or
it's
do you
an
think
important
being right
distinction.
by the shitter and getting blown up is just the same?
I feel like it's the same.
Just as embarrassing. And sad.
A while ago. A while ago. I will say it is a slightly odd difference between being a soldier and being a marshal. I've never had to kill someone so up close before. Army don't teach that.
You only had to when you were a marshal.
Yeah. Well, you gotta try and arrest people. Do it the legal way, and if they resist and you've got to pull a gun on them, they're a lot closer than they would be at a battlefield. It was not something I thought about before starting this job.
No, I didn't think of that either.
I think there's a lot of things that people don't think about before they become marshals.
agree.
Yeah, having to endure these two. Ugh.
Not everybody knows the inner workings before they step into it.
The cut in pay.
The cut.
That's what you're concerned about.
Yeah. He's charged Hans. I think it was $50 to be in a posse.
I'm sorry, what?
Yeah, if you had me in a posse, I charged you.
Back when you was a bounty hunter or a sheriff?
Yeah.
Oh, that's hilarious. Fair enough, too.
First of all, he was a criminal. Not
That's
a bounty
not
hunter
true.
or a
That's
sheriff.
not. No, that's a lie. That would indicate I didn't bring in bounties, which I did. And I was good.
He lacks a record for a criminal.
Ignore the clown. I count my. I think it's bullshit. Count all the clown shit.
Shit. The clown happened in your town.
Yeah, Buddy and O'Brien.
Yeah, they
Didn't
did
touch
murder
their
those
fault.
clowns.
Oh,
They
yeah.
murdered.
That
They
was
murdered
awful.
one of those clowns. One clown murdered the other clown. They killed the clown that murdered that clown.
I heard about this. It was kind of fucked up, huh?
I think Williams killed a clown, and Williams got shot by a clown, then I killed a clown.
Don't ever take a circus to Hannesburg.
To be fair, that was the only crimes that happened during my entire term. It was just like 6 of them in a day, and they're all murders. Oh, and that guy, that bounty, that kept me in the cell. That was a crime too, I suppose.
So, de-escalation. Is it de-escalation if we're dead?
Is that a
week
serious
3,
question?
Week 3 is not solely de-escalation. It's knowing when to de-escalate, when to escalate.
Okay, it doesn't say escalate in the paperwork I've got.
Do you ever escalate the situation?
Should you or
I mean-
do you? Those are two different questions.
Should you?
I mean, depends. If someone's in the bank saying that they'll kill the hostages if you don't bring them $10,000 in a gold-plated stagecoach, that is a unreasonable request.
So then you're gonna escalate it by going in.
I mean, your choice is to say, we can't get you $10,000 in a gold-plated stagecoach, and they definitely kill the hostages, or to storm the place and take the risk that they focus more on you than the hostages. And if you've at least planned it somewhat, you should be able to do it as cleanly as possible. And also letting just because you don't want violence, letting someone who might be a multiple murderer go is just letting them, just being like, because I don't want violence is harmful, because they're just going to go and kill more people.
Negotiation is scary.
Mm-hmm.
You really have to improvise.
Yeah, and you got to be clear what your priorities are too.
Hostages.
Sometimes.
Sometimes, all times.
If the orphan took a single hostage,
yeah,
and the choice was between letting him go or attempting to take the shot and take him down, which do you do? Because you can attempt to take the shot and he might kill that hostage, but if you let him go, how many people will die before you end up catching him again?
Well, we're not certain, so at least we can save one person.
Can you though?
We're not certain if he's gonna do it again.
At this point?
Yeah.
Everybody's got different opinions on it.
Is there a right answer?
And your priorities as local law are going to be different to ours.
Oh, is it?
Sometimes. We got federal warrants out there that have done so many horrible things that there's no way we could let them walk away. They could have a couple of hostages. They could have risk of blowing up a building. But the risk of them getting away could be way worse. Sometimes you got to be ready to go to war and make the arrest.
If you let criminals roll over you, they'll just keep doing it. Avery Brights has killed 30 people. If we let her go for just because we don't want violence every time, we wouldn't ever arrest her, and she'd have killed 60 people by now.
She's killed 30 people.
Mm-hmm.
She's killed, officially, according to her warrant, she's killed 32 people. According to other warrants that are either currently active or might be going, or ones I've just written, the number might be like 45.
Oh my god.
And that's her alone. That's not counting the rest of the coyotes.
Well, that's what's officially
How'd she
on record.
kill them? Like, just straight up murder?
Yeah. Right up on coaches. Killed everyone.
Right.
She's slowing down in her old age, Zach.
I could never do that. I couldn't get around how someone could do that.
They don't care. They don't have a,
It's like imagining an entire train carriage of people just dead.
Yeah.
They only look out for themselves. They don't care about who they kill. If it's going to benefit them, they'll kill them.
They're really reliant on each other. I tried to talk to Bill in the cell, and he kind of... Oh, I felt kind of bad because he thought I was, like, insulting his crew, but I wasn't. But I was saying, like, I was trying to try to figure out why he does the things he does and why his group does the things they do, and it's like they're brainwashed or something.
They are like a cult. They are...
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They'll find any way to justify it.
That's it. They justify their actions because it's for each other.
Mm-hmm.
But that doesn't make it right.
You know, they justify killing coach guards because the coach guards didn't just put their hands up and surrendered.
Yeah, that's what they said.
Like they made a choice to die that day by not surrendering their belongings to them. That's their justification for it.
Sometimes it's just in the job description. Whether if someone's hired to security,
Mm-hmm.
they have to defend the cargo by any cost. They're not choosing to die.
Mm-hmm.
And And they definitely don't apply that same reasoning to when they get arrested.
Oh God, no. Mm-mm. Or hurt. Oh, you chose.
Unless you give them an unreasonably favorable deal, they don't come in peacefully.
And we don't do 2020s.
Okay.
I do 2020s sometimes.
When is that gonna stop being a thing?
Well, consider that he still gets shit over the criminal record, and that was what, a year ago.
More than a year, I think.
Yeah, but 2020 is right.
I loved 2020.
You would.
If you ever become sheriff of Rhodes, Millie, it'll still be a thing.
Oh, I'm not planning to become chef.
I don't think Beckett was planning to either.
Really?
No, Beckett just wanted to hang out with his hot girlfriend.
She's rather beautiful.
Oh my god, right? I like when she talks.
I melt.
Mm-hmm.
The recruit is on her way.
He has a name.
What's her name?
I'll say it, but then Langston's gonna make fun of it.
What's her
Go on.
name?
Delphine Stannard.
What's to make fun of that? It's a very normal name.
I think
Yeah,
so.
setting the gold standard for names.
What's he saying?
That's setting the gold standard for names.
Oh,
Standard. Standard.
oh, I get it now.
You're welcome.
You can be a criminal. You might be.
I couldn't.
I was about to say you can be a criminal. Then I remembered what criminals exist, and it's like, intelligence isn't prerequisite.
Wait, that's really harsh on her.
Yeah. It's fine. You know what? I can respect it. We were in the same, well, roughly the same shade of hat.
Is he colorblind?
I have the same hat.
You have the same hat?
Yeah, it's Tyrell. See?
Is that like Marshall Standard?
No, this is Langston's hat.
Oh. Romantic.
No, I just threw all of the hats I had purchased off bridges, so I have to wear something.
Otherwise, she's getting written up.
Yeah, and I'll happily cut your suspension for some things, not this one.
Where are you gonna take your new recruit?
The courthouse and then Sisika.
Oh, right, that's what you
Yeah,
said.
we're gonna leave her there.
Oh,
See if she can figure
And
out
you,
how to
don't
make.
worry. Don't worry about
that's
it.
some that's some initiation.
You know what, Millie? Maybe you could help me figure out my New Austin practical.
I can help.
So
Practical.
my idea was, my idea was that I take the recruit in the final week. You know Gaptooth Mine?
Yeah, I do actually.
Yeah, we put them at Gaptooth Mine, and we take practically everything. They don't have anything. They don't have a compass. They don't have a map, and they have to get out of New Austin.
That's harsh.
Now they have to howdy.
Howdy.
Well, Langston stalks and beats them.
That's not how I would have put it.
Hello, Adrian.
Hello there.
How goes?
Don't let me interrupt or nothing.
No, you're right. Something you need?
Well, I was actually coming to see if Miss Green might be willing to accompany me on a bounty.
Oh.
Or anyone for that fact. I believe I might be going after one of the coyotes, and I don't fancy my chances by myself.
Ooh, which one? Which coyote?
William Foster.
Oh,
Carnival
where's he
by the name
at?
Bill. I don't know, but I've often seen him out in the west. I assume Armadillo.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Sounds like Langston's idea of a good time.
What?
No, the officer's out there if anyone wants to join me.
Does Bill have a bounty in Rhodes?
He don't have one in Rhodes, but he does have one in Valentine for $222, and I want that money.
I'm not sure if I'm allowed to go after them if they're not wanted in Rhodes.
You're allowed to take bounty work.
If he shares the bounty poster with you, he can.
But am I
A
allowed
bounty
to?
hunter.
You're a
Yeah.
bounty hunter, yeah,
If you have
not
to be a
as
bounty
a
hunter.
not
Yeah.
as a badge wearing
You'll be a
deputy,
deputy,
but
but you'll be a bounty hunter.
I don't know how to be a bounty hunter.
it's kind of
You
the same thing.
you
just-
say same thing. You just say you're a bounty hunter. That you got a bounty for them out of Valentine, I suppose, and that they're detained, or you're bringing them in. Either one, or
Very-
you got looser verbiage than we do.
And failing that, there's a $96 one here and out of Saint Denis.
Yeah, I first found a bounty for him in Blackwater for about $15, and I've said, I'll grab it and see if it's nearby. But I ain't
Mhm.
riding anywhere. But then once I saw the one in Valentine and how big it was, and for stagecoach robbers, I figured, this might
Mhm.
be a little bit more difficult.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, Bill's a
Put one up
freak.
for 500.
Now, I mean, he seemed mostly fine whenever I've talked to him.
I mean, like in a squirrely little, he's gonna run.
Mm-hmm.
No, I like it when they run. It's more fun to shoot.
I enjoy Bill as a person. It's when I gotta do my job against Bill, that's when I'm not the biggest fan of Bill. How do you make someone come peacefully?
Ask nicely.
Time up.
Well, that's not making, that's asking.
I don't
Is
know.
it peaceful if you've tied
Some
them
dead
up?
bodies seem real. Some dead bodies seem real peaceful.
This is what I'm saying. If they're dead, have you de-escalated the situation?
No, that's not de-escalation.
It could
I mean,
be.
the bounty says dead or alive, so I'm within my right.
Oh, you are. Absolutely. Yep. Mm-hmm.
No, we're just chatting on de-escalation.
You,
That's y'all's job, not mine.
Valentine bounty, you'll need to reach out and make sure there's someone in Valentine to turn them into. The local sheriff won't take nobody anymore up there, so you'll have to find some local law to turn them into. Otherwise, the $96 one here in Saint Denis, we can take care of that for you. If you catch them and bring them for that.
I'll put one up from here for 500. How does that sound?
Oh,
Well, there
No,
you
that sounds perfectly fine.
I guess we're going to work. Better hurry. I don't have a lot of time. This is locked.
Yeah, this one's not.
My horse is out back. Is this still open?
Nope. Oh.
Freedom!
I like that you said no.
It's shouldn't have been open. Does that count?
It was.
I blame
Alright, well.
Langston.
I'm sure you'll be hearing from us soon.
Yeah. You got our telegrams?
I don't think so, but I've seen one off of the telegram. Off.
Yeah,
Hang on.
get Tyrell's.
Well, that's that.
So I'll write down the notebook.
$500.
Now, Tara, is your name spelled with 2 T's at the end of your last name?
Tyrell is here.
Second?
Yeah, is there 2 T's at the end or just one?
Sure. I think I wrote it with 2.
Okay, poster should be up. Feel free to grab it whenever you'd like.
Now, do you
It's 2. There you go.
overpronounce-
There's the poster up.
Do you
minute.
overpronounce the T too when it's 2 T's?
No.
Second.
Stop it.
Miss Miller, would you mind reading the PR for me, please?
Tyrell,
What? Now.
what you back there whispering about?
She was saying... Deputy Green was asking if you overpronounced the double T at the end of my name. Like, second. It was...
You went, stop it.
I said, no, stop it.
Oh, I'm here for the foreseeable future.
Yeah. But hey, if that fucking works,
Hey,
Godspeed
oh,
to
also,
them.
I need to talk to you.
Oh, God, okay.
Let's go to the
You sure?
evidence corner.
Oh, God, okay. Now what?
Howdy. So, you got warrants out for coyotes, right?
Yeah.
Plural.
Yeah.
I'm working on something to try and catch a bunch of them,
Okay.
potentially. Would you be fine with your warrants being quoted in that dragnet, so to speak?
What do you... I mean, you catch a coyote, you put them on all warrants. What do you mean?
Yeah, but Dumont told me to ask everyone who's got warrants out. And you're the last one.
I don't understand what you're asking.
Oh, he wanted me to be sure that everyone who's written warrants and has active warrants and coyotes is fine with this plan being done.
Okay, but I don't know what the plan is, so how do I know if I'm fine with it being done?
It's just a plan to catch all the coyotes.
Okay, but what is the plan?
Catch a bunch of them. The plan is being worked on.
Okay, well, come back to me when you have a plan.
I have a plan.
Okay, well, put it on my desk then.
Okay. I'll draw something up and I'll put it on your desk when I can.
Or tell me what the plan is.
Okay.
In
Okay,
principle,
there is a-
yes, I am okay with you catching fucking coyotes. But if you need
Y'all
my
know
permission
Adrian's last
to
name.
execute a plan, I need to know what the plan is.
Okay, the plan is a stagecoach
Mm-hmm. Okay.
running from point A to point B
Mm-hmm.
that I imagine they'll hit at some point. And we just send a
Okay.
bunch of marshals on security.
Mm-hmm.
And they scoop them up, pretty much.
Okay. I like that idea.
I'm
I
attaching
had-
it onto an existing transport.
I had similar thoughts myself, but I was told it wasn't worth the risk of any actual equipment going missing. So I shelved that idea somewhere far away.
Maybe Dumont just likes me more than he likes you.
Yeah, maybe. I wouldn't be surprised by that, to be fair. You don't have a criminal record yet, remember? But you know, I've heard some harebrained schemes for plans come out in New Austin. So until I hear a plan, I ain't saying yes to nothing. But that plan I like.
Well, okay. You say yes or no? Or are you gonna hold me up?
I'm saying yes to your plan. I like that plan.
Fantastic.
As a theory, I like that plan. Your boss has come up with some god-awful plans that I did not like.
Okay, but think of plans I've come up with.
Yeah, but now you work in New Austin, so God knows what you might be thinking.
I'm thinking smooth sailing, personally. Do you have, by chance, Holy Soldier, by the way?
Yeah, I probably do. It's on posters all over, ain't it?
I walked around and couldn't see any of them still up, so it might have blown away.
Yeah, right. Come on. Five 53089.
53089.
Yeah, that's what I got. Howdy.
You know Adrian's last name?
I think I did, but I can't remember.
Um,
Oh yeah, they
is
are
it on
still
any
around.
of the those Midas company posters? He's with them, isn't he?
Maybe it's Midas.
I will have a look. I only say that because the telegram that I got from Futures seems to think that he was abducted by a man named Adrian Haas. And when I mentioned that to JY yesterday, she got confused and thought that I meant Reuben Haas. But the telegram that I got from Mr. P specifically names a man named Adrian Haas. I have no idea if they have any relation or connection or what that might be.
Mr. P gives me anxiety.
Adrian was looking at going after at Reuben Haas out of Rhodes's bounty the other day when he was around.
He asked about it today, actually, when I was there with Millie.
Right.
Mr. P is
So
not
they
dead
have bad blood?
somehow.
I
miss
don't know if Reuben
I
Haas
miss
has
you
bad blood of
too.
anyone who's not this ancient, decrepit
Oh,
marshal.
bye,
over
my
here,
friend. Thank you for coming.
because
He ain't even got
I
bad
don't
blood
know.
with
I
me,
don't
I
know him.
don't think.
I don't know him. Do
He
you know him? How's he?
Did try and
Yeah, I know.
fuck up my former bosses several times, but I don't even think him and I have actually ever scuffled.
I've spoken with him, but he just tried to pass me false information. But I didn't mind all that much. I get it.
Bye,
If I had a
all.
hot little ex-wife, I'd pass false information too.
Wait, who was he
See, that's
giving
the difference.
false information on? Emma?
Emma.
Huh.
JY mentioned that yesterday too.
Yeah,
But
he
you
gave
said
me a
it
whole
before.
load of fake shit about her, which was
Wait.
pretty easy to decipher. But
What day did this happen to Mr. P?
The case file mentions somewhere between the 14th and the 16th of May.
Oh, shit.
That's when
Okay.
Trummel originally created the file.
Poika, hey!
My question to you, outside of Mr. P's case, is that if I were to have found a whole slew of information that looks like it leads towards the Gambit, is that something to throw in its own case file, or do you want it in the collection of theirs?
Are you talking about the lovely little trail that stems from the train tracks all the way out to Catfish Jackson's?
The exact one, yes. There was
Well, he wanted to
someone.
break in.
There was someone here at SDPD the other day talking about the fact that they chased a man who was stealing from the North Hotel all the way out to the train
Mhm.
tracks. And when I went to the North Hotel, I did not find a single
Yeah, me neither.
I didn't find anything at all. But following those tracks all the way out, I found. Did you find the fisherman as well? He was talking about them and their chess
God.
pieces.
God, I found the fisherman. I found the guy waiting on the train. I found the
Good.
guy whose wagon he broke.
Yes, those two.
All of them. I think there's 5 of them along the trail.
But is that something that will
Stripey
just?
Mule Gang.
Yeah.
Is that something that goes in its own file, or we just put it in the compilation file?
See, my dilemma with all of that was trying to figure out what crime had actually occurred.
Right. That was my question.
Okay, so he said he had sticky fingers. So try, and it's Bobby Hat fella, who's at least a fugitive.
Is he? Does he have a bounty here?
Well, that's the thing. He's one of the game. We don't have the name, I don't think. But if he got caught for having sticky fingers in the city recently, then you could probably see any recent reports on any of the unknown bounties. To see if any of them.
Maybe.
Because if he's not being caught, then that bounty should be fairly high.
Yeah.
And also, it should stretch back a while. That's the other thing.
That's a
Bounty
good
should have
point.
gone up a decent while back, and it should have been updated recently.
Just to circle back to the Adrian Haas thing. The 14th, did you say?
Between the 14th and the 16th. That's what the file says.
Reuben Haas was around on the 14th. I realized because that is when Millie put the bounty out on Richard Garland and Rhodes, because Richard Garland and Reuben had a bounty up at the same time. So it could have been Reuben going by the alias Adrian as opposed to the other way around. But Adrian was also around that night, so it could have been him using Reuben's last name.
Well, people in Blackwater said 2 people.
People in Blackwater.
Yeah, there was someone outside the general store talking about Mr. P being taken, and then there was someone at Telegrams who mentioned the swamps of Lemoyne. The 2 people took the mayor towards Lemoyne. I think he heard them mention the swamps. I didn't actually write it down. I just told Drummond about it.
So he was picked up in Blackwater. He wouldn't tell me via telegram, or the telegram that he sent me was a few days ago, and I haven't heard back from him since. So I just assumed. But it's the one question that I couldn't answer was where he was picked up, because he just, I mean, he suppose he wouldn't get back to me. So but that makes a lot more sense.
Which West Elizabeth Marshal is working it with you? Anybody?
I don't think West Elizabeth doesn't know it happened.
I spoke to JY about it the other day, and I specifically mentioned to her in Blackwater that I was working on this for Tyrell to try and find out whether it was going to become their case or not. However, I do realise that it happened inside a Blackwater jurisdiction, so it should technically become their case.
It crossed state lines. So
Right.
there would be purview to take it, but there would be a conversation for someone to have with Drummond.
Mm-hmm.
And if Drummond would have to be the one to take it, and then Drummond would have to be the one to hand it over because it started in his state. But they cross state lines.
Okay. JY seemed quite convinced that it would so
It was what?
at least that's the impression that I got.
She was convinced what?
It would stay with Lemoyne.
JY is always convinced about everything.
Yeah.
Oh.
She might just
Suppose I
think
can
that.
ask him.
because-
Adrian.
Lucky? No. Damn it.
Yeah.
What's your last name?
Galloway.
Galloway?
Well, that ain't.
Yes, ma'am.
Interesting.
Very Irish, isn't it?
That is Irish.
Gotta take
No,
a
it's
shower.
Some cows.
No Irish descent. Just the name.
Galloway.
Thomas
I
Galway.
think I wrote you down as Galway.
No. Galloway. Galloway.
Mm,
Did he say G or J?
okay.
G.
What
Right.
do y'all do with that Midas Ridge shit? Tell me about this.
And pretty much anything that comes our way.
Mm-hmm.
I've done security work. I've done helped out with the rodeos. I do deliveries, help with bounties. Pretty much anything. If someone wants me to shovel shit, I'll go shovel shit as long as it pays well enough, you know?
You stay on the legal end, or you do illegal shit too?
Jesus Christ, Posey.
That's a rather
She's very
hard
subtle.
question from a marshal, but no, I try to stay away from the legal side. Too much fuss. You kick over the wrong pebble and someone fucking wants to kill you for it.
You know, escalation and de-escalation isn't just guns, right? That's what we would call verbal escalation.
I can see that. You know, when JY said to me the other day that Posey could negotiate the
anything
hide off
illegal?
a horse,
A long time ago.
I believe it, but
How long is a long time ago?
I suppose there's a method to the madness.
Years.
There is plenty of
I don't know.
madness, though.
Posey's direct, but do knows a better
Not
negotiator.
a funny question.
I see. Good to know.
I'm just wondering. You didn't happen to kidnap Mr. P, did you?
Who's Mr. P?
Mayor of
Pizza Hut?
Blackwater. Yeah.
Doing
No.
it for me.
No, you didn't do that
No, why would I do that?
for money.
I think there may be a bit of confusion. I like a bit of a challenge, something that gets a bit of fire in my veins. I met this Mr. P at the rodeo a couple days ago. That's an old, frail-ass man.
He's a freak, right? Okay, perfect.
Yeah, I don't know why he feeds his alligators vegetables. Something ain't right there. You should investigate that.
I've been trying. I've been talking to every reporter there is in these 5 states trying to get somebody out there because there's nothing I can do legally about it.
So did you
How
pay
did they-
someone,
Let me tell
Posey?
you. What are we talking about?
I was
Yeah.
gonna say, hasn't he got them alligators in some fresh cold water up in Strawberry?
No, he
Sure,
moved
that's-
them. They're in
Oh.
Blackwater now. Not much better.
No. What?
Yes. You know where they've been working on that dock down in Blackwater?
Yes, ma'am.
Gator fucking City.
I'm glad I didn't go for a swim.
Mm-hmm. All right. Thank you, Adrian. Just making sure.
Don't worry.
Yes, he is. I agree with you, Millie. Millie, do you know any reporters? You let them know that you have concerns about this. I don't know why nobody's written about this shit.
I know there was a man named Gus at the rodeo a couple days ago.
Hey, you tell Gus. Gus doesn't like me.
How comes?
Isn't that a great question, Millie?
It's because you're agitated.
It's because I'm agitating. But it's fine. All right, just
Any other
making
questions
sure.
I can help you with?
Nope. Y'all should be good to go pick up that $500 bounty or whatever.
No, I got it.
Technically, it's 600 because you get paid for both bounties, so
Ooh,
$595.
both bounties.
Don't make it more tempting than it already is. I want the money, but I'm not going in alone against possibly the entirety of the coyote.
Ain't you got Deputy Green there with you?
I gotta go. I have to go home.
Hey, if it helps, he runs the Tumbleweed Gun Store.
I don't know, that is good. I already know that. Why didn't I go fucking check that? Well, we just checked
Because-
Van Horn because I'd heard they'd been up there fairly recently.
I have more time to work tomorrow.
I'm
Well,
hoping my associates might be around tomorrow as well.
Well,
You
good
have
luck.
associates.
I have two.
Oh, right. You told me about those. I remember.
if I were you and I was looking for a coyote, I don't know if I'd be checking far out there in New Austin.
Where would you be checking?
All right. Do you have any other questions about your homework? About that case? about any other things before we get started with week 3?
No, not particularly.
Okay.
As long as there's nothing you want me to do with the collection of photographs that I picked up from
As long as there hasn't been
Gambit
yet,
thing.
as long as the rest of y'all
I
aren't
put it
clarifying
in the
the name.
cheese file.
Yeah, you might as
Hopefully.
well.
Okay. At least there'll be a collection of it.
With the statement that Bobby Hat, Rook, whatever I'm gonna call him, that
Right.
Rook
The
Piece
Bobby
might
Hat.
be living in Catfish accents.
Okay. Also, it looks like I really need to learn how to.
If anything,
Pick
my son alone,
locks.
I might go scope it out.
No, you don't. Don't worry about it. He knows because he's a criminal, and I know because I'm
That's
multi-talented.
fine.
Right. JY just supplies the goods.
Is J-Way your supplier? Jesus.
She told
No,
me yesterday
actually,
that she
roll
couldn't get
back
in,
here
but
to
she
see if
would be
any
able
of
to
y'all wanted
supply
to
the things
join
that
them,
people
but I heard
needed.
you might be trimming the
Things like screwdrivers and
He's gonna
whatnot.
go into Van Horn of Thieves and get herself killed one day.
Mm-hmm.
To be fair, Tyrell tried that the other week, so
Yeah.
we all know that.
Yeah, and the only saving grace was that he wasn't me at
It's my
that point in
kinda
time.
It worked.
Yeah, that time.
I don't know if you
Right, well,
walking out with vomit all over your vest was
if you get done with your training,
working
and
out,
if Hanson doing
but
something,
Better than blood.
posters everywhere, just put them
I
up.
suppose
trash.
so.
Alright, before I forget, I'll go telegram Drummond.
Ellie.
Bye. Let my horse go there.
That was fact finding.
Adrian. Ugh.
That's how I found some of my craziest criminals. Some people are liars, but I don't think he's lying to me. He seemed truly offended when I asked. Mr. P's an idiot. Yes.
And Drummond has a telegram. Okay. Drummond has been informed that it is a Blackwater thing, but it's up to him what he wants to do next.
I believe when it comes to Mr. P, and when it comes to so for this situation, don't get too hung up on the name that Mr. P gave you, because it might be a dead end. That's an issue that some marshals have. They do get hung up on like one piece of evidence. When
Mhm.
some evidence isn't really evidence, it's just shit.
I missed my opportunity to talk to Mr. P the other day. Apparently, he was at that rodeo, but
Mm-hmm.
did not find him.
Okay, well, shall we go on a little wander over to the courthouse and then introduce you to the wonderful place that is Siska?
Mm-hmm.
Sounds like a plan.
Safe hunting.
Courthouse time. Mm. You can go to the courthouse.
technically I can't leave the office.
Who tied you here?
He put up a poster.
Oh, I see. I suppose that's why it's $500, not the usual 15.
Yeah, he's playing with fire.
Who? Me?
Yeah, you.
Why? How am I playing with fire?
By putting up a $500 poster.
It'd be more. If I could be bothered to put up more for Bill Foster.
I like Bill.
I mean, it's definitely working. People have come looking.
Yeah, he is correct, though.
Correct in what way?
1 on 4 to 6 is not a particularly viable decision.
No,
Yeah,
not
it's hard.
particularly.
It's not a good decision, definitely.
Especially
worry.
when they're normally in areas that are quite safe. For them, at
Mhm.
least.
I don't think they're in New Austin.
No, I think they're at Shady Belle.
They definitely
Mm,
were the other day when they were all lined up underneath one of the shacks, lying on their stomachs, pretending that no one would see them.
They were there when I had to track them down. I had a bit of a
Are they
rage
still there?
incident. I don't know. I just sent Adrian out there. We're gonna find out.
When were
JY
they
and I
out
went
there?
out there. When JY and I went out there 2 days ago, we were following the track towards Catfish Jackson's. We ran into 4 of their horses hitched in the forest right on the edge of Catfish Jackson's, just up the road.
Huh.
We have no idea why the horses were tied there, but when we went back, we found them lined up on the edge of the shack, lying on their stomachs, trying to hide, obviously. And when they were confronted, they acted like nothing was wrong, like nothing was happening. JY almost went straight past them. I only managed to see them because 2 of them were wearing bright white shirts.
That'll do it.
Comical, to say the least. In saying that, though, we then followed back towards Braithwaite. JY wanted to keep following the path towards the... They told us about the 2 men broken down with the wagon. And JY wanted to follow that path back up. So we did. And when we did, we came back around. We circled back around towards Shady Bill. And they were back on their way towards Catfish Jackson's to pick up the horses. I assume. There was 5 of them, I think, spread across 3
Jesus.
horses. And they were heading back towards where the horses were hitched. So I assume... My assumption would be that they're trying to keep the horses away from Shady Belle to either give some sort of indication that they are not staying there, or they won't be for much longer. I couldn't tell you. Although...
All right.
It was a strange introduction. The entire thing was very, very strange.
Well, they got all worked up that Langston broke into their abandoned house, so they broke into
I
my
didn't break
not
in.
abandoned house. Sorry,
Oh, hang
the
on.
door.
Were you just giving me grief for talking about seeing evidence of a potential criminal?
There was no evidence because I went to Catfish Jackson's and I looked in the window. What?
15
look at-
of his carved wooden rook pieces is not evidence?
No, there is an illegal justification for it. Which
Well,
one
there
of
was no
them?
legal justification for them coming in my house, putting my rabbit in a sack, putting him in a closet.
They should have killed it.
Poor guy. He was just falling right out that sack. First of all, it was a pellet case, I think, and he just looked a mess.
A trail that's...
He was traumatized. I gave him a gun.
Okay, that doesn't sound better. But a trail that
I'm taking the
starts
gun.
with evidence of a criminal that leaves white rook chess pieces around, that ends in a place with 15. Nobody
you see
plays
him?
a game of chess with 15
you
rooks.
see him?
Can I see what?
Could you see him?
The-
And know precisely which federal warrant applies to the fugitive. If you can't see a fugitive on the property or evidence of a crime inside the property.
And what was your justification?
Oh, the place was ransacked.
Absolutely ransacked. I went out there too. Because I went out there to track their asses down, right?
Looked
After they broke into my house, before I realized what had happened.
Looked ransacked before or after you ransacked it?
Oh, it looked fucking ransacked when I was there.
Oh no, there was dust all over the place, and then the drawers were pulled out and ransacked.
Dust all over the place, meaning no crime had taken place in a very long time.
Doesn't mean there wasn't a crime.
Well, it had been 4 days since I'd been up there already and seen all the non-dust.
Okay. Anyway, no crimes were committed then on either count.
Well, thank
No,
God.
they put out
You
the
had to
drawers.
check to make sure.
Hmm.
But the real crime was them breaking into my home and harassing my rabbit
That is definitely
Should've
a
killed it.
crime.
and stealing some of my plants.
I'd have more respect for them if they killed it.
You know what, Langston?
On that note, let's take a
He
wander.
really doesn't like that rabbit. Right.
He's about to go back into the guest room. Rabbit's gonna come sleep in my bed again.
Yeah, till they put it in a pillowcase again.
Marriage is a scam.
Sounds like it.
Oh,
Tyrell knows he's got a
shit.
fake wife. What's wrong?
Someone important.
Fucking Bill's in Annesburg.
Oh,
Did you get
That's too
Adrian's
close to my house.
telegram?
Langston, Bill's in Annesburg.
Maybe he's gonna kill the rabbit.
Good for him.
He's too close to my house.
Maybe he's going back for the rabbit. Did you just...
I don't think so. Bill doesn't know how a door works.
that's unfortunate for him. I suppose that's why he's a pickpocket, though.
And not a very good one.
Not a good one.
At least not according to that $96 bounty back there.
You know, if he was a good pickpocket, I'd respect it.
Mm-hmm. Sorry, I was just making sure I read over my notes a little more before we got into today's lesson properly.
Oh, yes, you're learning as much as I am on the go.
Yeah, honestly, kind of just the deep end. It's sink or swim for both of us.
Then we both have to do well.
Exactly. I need you to get 100% on this test.
So no pressure, really.
None at all.
It's an easy test.
Posey can do it, you can do it.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck Langston did it.
Yeah,
I feel like Langston knows a lot more than he lets on.
he does.
Yeah, unfortunately. How's your reading of the laws and the SOPs going?
Rather mindless, really.
It
But I suppose that's where it
Kinda
needs
gets
to be.
that way, yep.
You know what? Let me get you a copy of my law book.
Oh,
It's better. Oh, this is the courthouse, by the way.
good to
Mm,
know.
No hats in the court.
I would expect nothing.
Any excuse to take her hat off is Posey. Really.
Mhm.
So, over here is where people can do all that legal paperwork and all that fun stuff. Filing things, etc.
All
This-
their births, deaths, and marriages.
Exactly. Our offices are down this way. Well, mine and Valentine's anyway. Not that we're ever really here. We're usually just over at SDPD.
Great desk in here.
I was going to say, I've never really seen anyone use this area.
So, please don't fuck on this desk. I've had to burn the last
Too
one.
late.
I don't even know.
And this is the boss's desk.
We didn't touch that one.
Yeah, cowards.
Yes.
To be fair, I think it was Marlowe's desk at the time, so I understand.
It was, and she would have stabbed me. No, I fucked at her home desk.
Oh, that's
in her bedroom.
That's disgusting.
I feel like that's worse.
That's so much
we got
more
Drummond
invasive.
to let us in.
Oh. So everyone's in on it.
Mm-hmm.
Eh.
This is Justice Van Zant's office. When he's in, if
He's
you
got
need a warrant
muffins in there.
signed and whatnot, yeah, he keeps muffins in his desk
He
drawer.
always has muffins.
But are they good?
They're really
Yes,
good.
actually, they're really good. Judges wise, Van Zant's my second favorite.
This is just a bunch of records and stuff. It's mostly not things we need to worry about, but every so often we've had break-ins in here. People coming trying to find out schematics for buildings and things like that.
Strange.
Yeah.
I mean, I understand it, but also it's a lot of work.
Yeah. Those Gambit fuckers, the stripy mule bastards, they kept breaking in here. Trying to find
Is that what they
like-
go by?
No, that's what
No.
we call them. They want us to call them the King's Gambit, but fuck that. They rode a stripy
Fuck
mule.
that.
They're the stripy mule gang.
Strappy Mule Gang. They rode
Right.
a Strappy Mule while they were doing like 4 or 5 coach robberies a day. Strappy Mule Gang for life.
Mm-hmm.
Good to know.
Yeah.
Remember that if I ever meet any of them. Although I've been told that they're quite reclusive.
They are.
Yeah.
They do not want you to see them.
I've
I
seen
knew
one of them
way
once.
back in the day, but
And I think I've seen that Bobby hat fella once, but I didn't recognize him at the time. I don't even think I could tell if he was wanted for something back then. And then we have the main courtrooms upstairs. So if you're ever on court duty,
you didn't show her the library.
oh,
There's
now
nothing
I'm all
here.
turned around. Okay, which way? Oh yeah, that's right. We got one of these too.
The law library.
Good to know.
There's a larger one in Blackwater.
Yeah, we saw that one the other week. I think that one's probably better if you're really trying to dig into something obscure, but
Considering that shelf looks like it's about to fall.
yeah, I wouldn't
Yeah, I wouldn't.
stay in this room for too long. I'd get what you need and sit out here and read it. Honestly.
There's also a toilet.
Yeah, it's true too. It says toilet on the outside, so I kind of figured you'd figured that out.
It's a really
know what?
nice toilet.
I probably would have.
So if you are on court duty, you will search people out here.
Well,
Right.
It depends
I
on
wouldn't
what
even.
part you're assigned to.
Yeah, if you are on searching people, you will search them out here. If you're on court security, obviously you'll be stationed somewhere inside.
Right. How many duties are there when it comes to court?
There's a bailiff, and there's guards. Basically. And then there's prisoner
Right.
transport, if there's a criminal trial going on.
But the bailiff does not do the criminal transport. They stay with the judge.
And they also
Okay.
don't do the searching.
Mm-hmm.
If you are on bailiff duty, you are strictly with the judge in the courtroom or wherever the judge needs to be at, and their security is your priority generally. But if you're on guard duty and you're on the front door
Normally it's
essentially,
2 people
yeah, you
before
want
the
to
case starts.
search people out here. No weapons beyond this point for anyone that isn't a marshal or a officer of the court.
And when you say no weapons,
Knives,
mean
guns,
everything?
yeah.
I've taken
Including-
horse revivers before,
Right, okay.
but it depends, honestly, for a horse stimulant. It depends a little bit.
Angry
It's your
enough
best
person with a
judgment.
screwdriver. I'd take that
Mhm.
too. Definitely lassos, knives, and guns though for sure. And
Yep.
Ammunition?
yeah,
Leave it. Ammunition?
you
I don't
don't
give a
need to
fuck about it.
confiscate the ammunition, but make sure you ain't left them with anything they could put the ammunition in. You
Right.
can give them the opportunity. You can say, look, you've got this on your person. Back up, go back out there and put it in your hotel room or your saddlebag or whatnot, and then come back and we'll search you again.
Running across the street to the bank.
Mm-hmm. You don't have to, it's not like you're arresting someone. Once you're arresting someone and you're searching them, confiscation is the only option, generally speaking. But here it's their choice. They don't have to come inside. They can stay outside and keep their gun. But if they want to come inside, no weapons beyond this point.
But once court starts, we don't need to stay out here.
Right, so we can go in with everyone else after.
Yeah, and then we just watch the door of the courtroom itself, basically.
And take
Okay.
anyone back out that tries to get in, yeah.
But a lot of marshals prefer to just stay just inside this door. You can hear
Yeah.
what's going on in the courtroom, typically.
Yeah, you'll
Mostly
see.
they don't care.
But just, you don't want anyone, like, sitting in the lobby waiting to assassinate
no
someone.
loitering.
Yeah, because the judge does cross over from one room to the other.
If you're on security detail because a judge has an office hours or something, you can just be in the lobby searching people as they come in. Unless it's other marshals, in that case you don't need to worry.
Does that happen often?
So this is a room, you can keep
One time,
witnesses
Richard
in
Garland
here
rode
and
his horse
things.
through the courthouse during office hours. So yeah, weird shit happens.
Really weird shit happens. This is just
This is a meeting room.
a meeting room. You can have legal discussions here with people that might want to negotiate something, or
This is where the judge comes when they're thinking.
yeah. The Blackwater courtroom has a judge's quarters in the back. This one does not.
Some fun tips and tricks for the courtroom. Stay right here for just a moment. I'll show you. See me?
No.
I do not.
Exactly.
Right.
There's a cubby back here.
It's creepy.
So when you are searching the courtroom, there are cubbies on either side.
Both need to be checked. Oh, I see.
Mhm.
They
Right.
both need to be checked. Since this building is open to the public most days,
Hmm.
anybody who's looking to off a judge has been in this room.
So you're checking the plants behind the curtains, under all the chairs, behind all the desks. All of those things, and that's before anyone even comes in here. And if you're the bailiff, you're going to be stationed, in this room, usually just somewhere around here, right, Posey?
Right about here is where I'd put myself if I was the bailiff.
Yeah.
So I can see the door. I can see the judge out of the corner of my eye.
And you can see
But
the
I'm not
witnesses. And,
bothering the judge none.
If it's a
Putting myself
three-judge
between
panel,
the door and the judge.
a little bit further this way, but
3-judge panel. I'm coming over to here. And I would want another marshal stationed at the other side.
yeah, if you're on security for the criminal, you are over here.
Right.
Behind the criminal,
Yeah.
typically.
Always behind.
Yeah.
So, put myself where Tyrell is,
Mm-hmm.
or right here.
Mm-hmm.
I think I am the only person who has had consistent issues being in a courtroom.
What do you
So
mean
let
by
me explain
issues?
those. I have screamed at people in the audience more than one. The one time was bad. I have accidentally attacked a judge once. That didn't look good. One time, Juno got me, and then I got Juno back. That didn't look good. I cuss in court a lot. Not good. The people in the audience will talk shit. They will say things so rancid and vile that you feel that you gotta say something just because it's fucking cruel. But don't. The judge doesn't like it. Bring it up to the judge. If there's something going on, then raise it to the bailiff. If you are the bailiff, raise it to the judge.
And I suppose that they can use their own discretion to decide whether someone should be tossed out or not.
Correct.
Or finding contempt of court too. That's another option.
Mm-hmm.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
What I did was I walked up in front of them and I told them that if they didn't want to be there, they could just fucking leave. And then I called them both rancid. Yeah. Sunday and Eduardo did not like it.
No, that's gonna happen.
Sunday, Eduardo, and Lindsay Finch.
So typically in a
Weird
courtroom
throuple.
on a criminal charge, you're gonna have ideally 4 marshals on duty. So a bailiff and 3 extra marshals. 1 outside and 2 in here with the bailiff. Or 2 outside and 1 here until the court starts.
Hopefully. Well, we like to have more than that, though.
If we can, yeah.
And then what we do is we stand over by the door
Yeah.
and we talk shit.
Yeah, the rest of us that aren't necessarily on duty are over here. Whispering in
We
the
don't
corner.
like to sit in the audience.
The peanut gallery.
Oh, fuck
so we
yeah.
stand over here where nobody can hear us and we talk shit.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So it really is a peanut gallery.
Yep, judge
Yeah,
can't
mostly-
hear us. We ain't fucking with nobody. Or we're even sometimes just listening just outside the door.
Other
Which
things,
is even
if
more
somebody's wearing a
unhinged, but-
hat in the audience, we remind them they need to remove their hats.
Mm-hmm. If anyone falls
someone's being
asleep, you might
disruptive.
need to remind them to take their hat off.
Mm-hmm. It happens. Most
Good to know.
judges allow smoking in their courtrooms, but I've heard once that a judge said knock it off.
Really?
Yeah, I can't remember who it was though now.
That's
Interesting.
interesting.
Yeah, it was weird.
Any other questions about court or court duties?
Not particularly.
Okay. It's
I'm
not
sure I'll
about
have more
court.
once I get assigned a spot.
I feel like,
So,
given your former job, this is probably not
This-
something you're unfamiliar with.
no, this will.
Standing
probably be-
around, making sure people don't cause shit.
Making sure people are standing where they need to stand.
Now, one thing I always take a caution to note, coming out of the court, if it's been a contentious trial or if it's been a particularly dangerous criminal going on, be careful coming out because you got balcony over there and the roof of the bank over there, which are prime spots for people to be waiting to ambush anyone coming out of those doors.
Have you ever had anything like that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. There are side doors down the ends of both of those corridors. So if it's particularly bad, we can take people out this way.
Right.
So we come out here.
Because typically we are moving someone
Mm-hmm.
at the end of court.
Ideally,
all
the
the time.
we're taking them to the docks if they're going back to Sisika. But we do have a side door here. Which is
It's
another
unlocked at
thing to
all
be
times.
wary of. Yeah. Making sure nobody sneaks in the side door.
And then you come right down here.
You come down here. I typically will hitch my horse for court just here rather than right out front.
Right. Makes sense.
And this
there
is
have been
another place to
situations
check.
where criminals have shown up to court specifically because they know that we do not arrest people at court
Yeah.
just to taunt. That has been an
Right.
issue. So we have come out of court and there's just been like a group of them sitting in front of the courthouse.
Mm-hmm.
Seems strange to me.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
definitely a choice.
Okay, are we all happy to just wander to the docks?
I hate riding down to the docks.
Yeah. Yeah, it don't make much sense to me.
Why is that?
It's an awful place to leave your horse, honestly. It's
There are no
Horse
hitches down
often
there.
ends up in the water.
there is a hitch, but it's also just a really, really publicly visible place. You know, like it's really obvious that you've left your horse there, which means some marshal's gone out to Sisker and is probably coming back on their own. Prime for
Tyrell's the one that gets ambushed like that, though.
yeah, which is why I think about these things.
My horse has been stolen before
I have
from right
considered-
there.
I
More
think
than once,
I'm
actually.
starting to realise where JY got a bit of her paranoia from.
It's Tyrell.
Yeah, she stitched me up enough to know it's not paranoia when they are out to shoot you.
That's fair. And we found the group at Shady Bell the other day. She was most interested in getting out of there as fast as we could. She was certain that they were going to chase us for some reason. But
They mostly want her dead.
Well, she seems to think so.
she told me that they don't mind her because of her
I
previous history.
think she's kidding herself, but she does seem to believe that.
I think that there's definitely some bad blood, as there is when a criminal turns to law.
I think
She
she
did the
thinks
work
they
to
don't
get
mind
there.
her, but if I was them, I'd probably shoot her.
Shit, sometimes I want to shoot her still.
I
I'm
believe
kidding.
I did shoot at her once or twice.
Morning to you,
I
Pop.
think that I don't know.
Yeah?
The way she went about hiding the fact that she had become a marshal to continue to
Mhm.
try to get information from them was
Not smart?
dangerous
Yeah.
and set a
Fine morning
bad
to you.
precedent, honestly, for her.
Yeah, it broke down trust immediately.
Hmm.
I didn't know that. Didn't mention it in her story.
Hey, Posey, you happy to navigate us out there while I cover off the rest of this week's lesson?
Yeah, of
Morning,
course. I don't
mates.
mind driving the boat. I've got one.
We may or may not be swimming back, Delphine.
Haha.
Good
It
to
depends
know.
on how well I park.
If she boats like she wagons,
I'm a great wagon driver. Ask my husband.
Won't be the first time.
is he gonna say yes because he has to say yes or because it's the truth?
No, he's gonna say yes because he knows my secret.
Hello.
How frequent are the trips out to Sisika?
Not as often
Depends.
as I'd like them to be
Some
because
weeks, every fucking day.
some days I've been out like 3 times in a day.
Oh my god, yeah. It just depends.
Good to know.
Nope. Is that a situation?
Posey gets a little huggy sometimes.
There we go. Everybody does this way. Stand at the front of the boat.
Mm-hmm.
Keep that in mind too.
So this week, and this is one of the reasons why I invited Posey here to join us this week, because we are talking conflict and posses and de-escalation, all those important things like use of force, and the fact that as marshals, if it comes down to a need to draw your gun and fire it, the standing order is to shoot to kill. Now, that being said, we prefer to, you know, we like to think we work smarter, not harder. So, you know, we talked about this the other day, but you don't need to take on every dangerous situation. If you think you don't have a realistic chance of coming out of a situation on top of it, walk away. Live today, fight tomorrow. But, and this is where Posey comes in, ideally, we would verbally de-escalate the situation. We would find some means of negotiation. And that doesn't necessarily mean that we're giving them everything they want. We still got a job to do. We got to convince them that coming over to this island and sitting in a hole for as long as their sentence is better than the alternatives of being dead in the ditch somewhere or whatever negotiation you choose. There was that one time Posey brought in, was it 7 coyotes?
Well, it was 6 coyotes and the one fella, but we didn't take him, obviously.
All she had to do there was get Langston to apologize.
He must really hate him.
Langston?
Honestly,
He's a shit talker.
Getting Langston to apologize, it might have been easier just to shoot them, honestly. But we didn't have to do that.
And Ty and Langston wanted to shoot.
I was going to say, I've heard the same thing about Langston and you, Ty. That you both...
Yes.
JY mentioned specifically that you were slower to the trigger than Langston was, but
they're both
that
happy
you
to
do
shoot.
like to talk. And that sometimes your words get you
he likes
strife.
to talk with the gun out.
Yeah, Langston would rather just start shooting, less talk.
I don't like to take my gun out until the last possible second.
I would rather talk them into pulling out their guns first. So then there's no question about who started that bullshit. But, ideally, we would bring everyone in without a fight.
I see.
Ideally, we wouldn't have to do this job. That's the truth of it. Are you beaching us?
No.
Why are you... Are you sure?
Almost.
It's dry land here.
It's gonna float back out.
Why not the dock? Why did you have to make us walk through the mud?
I don't know why I'm like this.
What's a bit of mud in your boots, Tyrell?
These were nice city boots.
Hello.
Howdy.
You come to bring me some new friends?
Nope, we're just having a little tour.
Having a little tour today.
Oh, come, I show you.
Oh.
Oh, you want to go in through this gate or the other one?
We can start here, I guess.
This is the gate we come in and out of if we're doing visits or coming in alone.
Wellness checks, things like that.
Right.
Looking at evidence of people being murdered out here. Anything like that.
It is lovely courtyard. Don't eat the apple.
What was your name, mister?
Steve.
Steve. Okay.
No, not Steve. Stick. Like wood. Stick.
A stick. Okay.
Stick. I like it. That's the gallows.
Yeah, self-explanatory, really.
Yeah, they threaten to hang us if we don't behave.
They threaten to shoot him mostly.
Yeah.
Or feed him
But
to
I find the
gators.
hanging much more fun.
Hey, Stick, do you know the 3 rules of Sissica when you got dropped off here?
Yeah, but it's been a while. I've been hotbox for a while. Ever since I got struck by lightning.
Oh.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Okay.
The Bonesaw not even make appointment with me.
Bonesaw's the doctor out here.
I've heard the name.
Yeah, doctor is...
He has a medical license.
Yeah.
No, he doesn't.
Yeah, okay.
He's got more of a one than Posey does.
Fuck yeah. This is the,
Main cell block.
cell block. That's what I'm looking for. Down here,
Yeah.
the very first cell, is a good cell.
This myself.
Best cell, right here. So if I'm dropping
This
somebody
used to
off,
belong to my friend Mr. Elias.
yes, this is where I drop off. You know, anybody that might need a little bit of extra comfort. And all the other cells, I'm gonna open the door to your cell if that's all right.
There. Don't
All
look
the
on
other
the bed.
cells look like this.
Right, okay. Is there anything special about them that I need to know? Do they individually lock?
No.
Okay.
Mostly it's not our concern. We often don't even need to come back here unless there's a meeting or something's happened, generally.
Once they get to Siska, it becomes the guards' issue.
Yeah. They
This
got the
here's the
commissary.
The shit food.
Yes.
Yeah.
Most of the time, we recommend people bring food with them.
Right.
And through here, we have the office, which, if you're ever stranded because you accidentally beat your boat, this is where the telegram room is at, fellas.
I often unlock this door for people that are staying here. In case they need to send a telegram, the guards will do it for them, but, you know, I'm here. I've got the keys. Might as well.
Right.
Especially if they've been polite and cooperative on the journey here. If they've been spitting and cussing and trying to throw a punch or something all the way here, you don't have to unlock this door. It's entirely up to you.
Okay.
It's just nice.
But yeah,
The
if they've...
guards read a lot of telegrams anyway.
Yeah,
The
all the
guards
telegrams
read
are read.
every fucking telegram.
I suppose they don't really have much else to do.
Yeah.
I sent a real, like, gushy one once. What's the way to say it? Mushy is the word I was looking for. And the
God.
guard read it back to me, and I was just, gave me the heebie-jeebies.
Even more devastating to find out it was written by your own hand.
Mm-hmm.
So you've got the infirmary over this way on the south side.
And that's where Bonesaw and his pet gator are.
Don't
What's with
remember
everyone
it.
and pet?
I think
Like
Bonesaw had him
gators?
first, but he feeds it people.
Oh,
Like, only people.
Generally,
suppose it's
corpses and
getting better
amputated
nutrition.
limbs, because they ain't got much room left to bury people out here.
it's an island, I suppose.
So if you're dropping
Really
off an
want to be
injured
burying
prisoner,
anyone anyway.
you just kind of bring them to here. And then the
Okay.
infirmary staff will take them in. If they can't get here themselves.
Right.
If you need to get up onto the wall, there are these in every corner, basically. I've had to go up to collect prisoners before that needed to leave.
Right.
But they didn't just come down?
Yes, I had to get Scarlet from up here once.
Why?
I don't know. She was all kinds of fucked up.
I would have just left her here. Why would you bother? If she don't want to come, she can stay here.
But it is
Sir?
controlled up here. And one of the things that they
I'm
are
allowed
not...
to be up here. I'm allowed to be up here. Don't you?
Yes, as long as you don't touch the cannons.
There.
Which brings us
They touch the
back to
cannons, they'll shoot them.
the three main rules of Sissica that we tell everyone when we're dropping them off for their sentence. Don't touch the water. Any touching of the water will be considered an escape attempt, and the guards on the wall will shoot you.
Mm-hmm.
Rule number 2 is you can walk anywhere on Sissica, on this island, or over the bridge to the Cottonfield Island. Even up on this wall, you can basically go anywhere that ain't locked. But if you come up on this wall, do not touch the cannons or the gunpowder, because that will also be getting you shot.
Mm-hmm.
And then rule number 3 is basically just don't start shit, don't backtalk nobody. Don't
That one's just a
Unless you want to
nice
go hot
rule.
don't look at the guards wrong, don't start trouble with other prisoners, because any of that shit will get you shot as well.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, don't break any rules in Sissica, because they will get you shot or worse.
certainly sounds like they're looking for an excuse.
They generally are, I would say. Wouldn't you say, Stick?
The pretty much. I bitch slap Marshall Armstrong.
Good.
Well, that would
Not
kind
a
of...
problem.
I haven't seen
This is
Armstrong
pretty
since I had
funny,
to
though.
tell that man that his brother was dead after Armstrong told him he was in Annesburg.
Wait,
Sounds
what?
awkward.
Yeah, Armstrong told some man that his brother was in Annesburg, right? And then I had to tell him, no, I'm sorry, he's dead. And Armstrong fucking killed him.
Oh, who was that?
It was, you were with me. I got shot that day. Weren't you with me?
Maybe.
I
What was
was
his
right.
name?
Armstrong
He was
is
a nice
PP.
little guy. He died. It was very sad. Excuse me, sir. Sorry.
No, you have to be careful with these ones then.
Jose?
This one.
Maybe we go
Yes,
the
this
This
other
is
way.
not the one.
No, I would not.
I don't feel like he wants to move. I think he's doing a very important job, and we can go the other way.
Mm-hmm.
This is not Fort Wallace.
Please don't shoot me.
Oh, here. Let's go to this one. So, this one here holds solitary confinement.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Does this get used sparingly, or is it
All
just...
the time. It's. I have a lot of opinions about it.
I see.
I find this to be the
Yeah.
cruelest form of punishment.
It is best place to come up with plans to escape.
Yeah, if you can think.
It is pretty easy when, like yourselves, you leave the boat unattended.
Come way down.
That's what the cannons are for. They will sink our boat.
Right down through there.
Yeah. It's solitary, so we won't go disturb nobody, but...
We're not gonna bother anybody. I've only been down the hall once or twice. Always with Dumont.
I see.
Yeah.
Sort of tells me everything I really need to know.
Did you not know this was here?
It really gives me the heebie-jeebies.
Welcome to Sissicature. 101? 101?
If you bring
Kinda?
someone out here to visit with a prisoner, I don't fuck with them while they're out here. You know, you search them, you make sure they don't have any weapons. Same thing as court, basically.
And
When
you're
I
fine to
came
sort
out
of
here,
let them...
you just kind of let them chat. I was
Yeah.
out here for a good hour and a half one day, just standing and staring. Luckily, I had another marshal with me. Unluckily, it was Michael, but it was fine.
Oh. I mean, it kind of is, because you can't
Brian.
actually go down there. Yeah,
There
I
we
knew
go.
who you
I
meant.
figured it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was New Austin. He was a very interesting fellow.
Mr. Marshall, I have a question.
Yeah.
Real quick, I don't mean to interrupt. It is very hard to get appointment with Dr. Bomsaw. Could you perhaps guide me to the information and help me out a little bit? I have been very, very out for a very, very long time. It is annoying having to sway so.
You know what? You're in luck. I can take a quick look and put a bandage on it, but...
I'm gonna step over here for a moment.
Thank you. Give me it.
Let me see what you done. You are in luck. I am a medic, so I can at least wrap up your hand and your head here.
Thank you. Just a little bit of relief would be nice. Also, may I have your binocular?
No.
They let us have them. I just want to look at the city. You can go buy more. You earn a lot of money with being marshal. Don't be a stingy bitch.
Okay, I'm literally treating your injuries. You complain again, and I will stop.
I'm not complaining, I'm asking.
And I'm saying no, you're getting treated, and that is it.
And I thought you guys were meant to be nice.
Why would you think we're meant to be nice? It's literally not in the job description. But I'm feeling nice, so I'm helping you feel just a little bit better.
What if I say pretty please? I learned this very recently. If you say pretty please, most people give you what you want.
I'm gonna say no again, but politely. No. Thank you.
That does not sound very polite.
Unfortunately, I'm not in the business of trading with prisoners.
To give you money.
He
Sorry?
has plenty of that, I can assure you.
Yeah.
Then why
Maybe-
cannot buy more pair of binoculars?
If you were meant to have binoculars, they would sell them to you. What if you use your binoculars to scope the shoreline for some kind of signal?
And do what? Go into the water and get shot by cannon?
Who knows? It ain't my business to know. I'm a firm believer if they wanted you to have them, they would sell them here to you, because they would do anything to take your money.
Yes, but you let people in here still with their binocular. So therefore, I should be allowed binocular. I got grounds for it.
If you had binoculars, you would be allowed binoculars. But if you are not,
Like I say,
if you don't have binoculars, maybe there's a reason you've been denied them. Maybe you tried to set fire to something.
no, you would be known by that. There is no charge for me to do with fire, just stealing a mug.
Okay. Anyway,
Stealing a what?
the answer is no. Stealing and murdering, I think he said.
I'm asking for his binocular. He owns a lot of money and can buy new power.
No.
Other criminals in here have them. I would like.
Then trade with one of the other criminals.
They're stingy. They want binocular for themselves.
For what?
Have you ever spent plenty of nights here? No, it's very boring. It is nice to be able to look at the city and all the pretty lights.
You know what? I'm sure that you can find something to trade with somebody, or trade with one of the guards or something. Not with us.
Yeah, all very variable.
I get it. You're not. I'm going to wait until I get out, and then I'm going to meet a few people, and well, you'll see.
Are you ever getting out?
No.
I don't think you are, Stick.
I think I've seen this file.
Yeah. Hey, Embers, how you doing?
No, just
Dick, I think you're gonna die here.
I've escaped plenty of worse prisons than this. You just
Okay,
got me
now
like that.
I'm just convinced that I said the right thing by saying no to you, because I'm just sure somehow binoculars feature in your plot to escape.
Like what?
I'm not going to speculate because I don't want to give you ideas.
I've spent many a time in hotbox and solitary. I've pretty much think of all ideas I can.
And yet you're still here, so you just keep thinking on your own then. Yeah, right?
Then I will.
And now I'm going to consider confiscating binoculars too.
Alright, Stick, you be safe.
We'll say.
It was nice meeting you.
Da.
I'm sure I will again soon.
Yeah. Bye, Stick. Be safe here. Sometimes you gotta take a run up at these doors, but it's easier from this side to get out than it is to get in.
It's been a lot better recently. Oh, over here, this is the main gate. This is where we bring people when they're first coming to Siska.
Right here-ish is where you will sentence them, propose their final time.
They like to change just about here.
And this
It's a
is where
little
you
more
direct
private.
them to go work, essentially. If they are healthy and otherwise able, this is where they go and
He's going
pass
to
the
boat.
time. That sounds like a guard problem to me. Okay. If he goes for the boat, we, I guess, shoot him? I don't know. I've never actually had to
No,
shoot an
you two can
escaping.
continue. It's okay.
Okay.
Alright.
If we hear gunfire, we'll go back.
I suppose we'll know.
There's really not much to this. This is, as you can see, literally everything out here. Prisoners pick the cotton. They bring the cotton to sale. If you're feeling nice, you can tell them where to go.
Right.
Here is the cotton. Here is the building where you sell the cotton.
This will be
And-
your new hobby for the next 1,000 days.
Essentially, yeah, you could spend all day picking that field and still barely have enough money for gruel. And hopefully Posey's proven the point that as marshals we are striving for de-escalation. But
If there's anyone to
Sometimes-
learn off, I assume it's her.
yeah. And sometimes it's just not possible. Sometimes force is necessary. So,
I assume that a lot of the time you will be dealing with people who simply don't want to de-escalate. Or are looking for an excuse for you to escalate, or vice versa.
Posey is so gonna shoot a man. Exactly. And so, then we come to our own use of force, in which it all just really, realistically, depends on your own comfort level. Ideally, we're focusing on using equivalent force to detain and subdue.
Hmm.
Doesn't mean I'll give them extra binoculars for you.
Buy a stick. Now, sometimes when you come to Sisika, the guards will meet you right here, and they'll conduct an entrance interview.
Right.
I'll pull it up to the end of the dock.
It's alright, we're all in the mud now,
You-
honestly.
So-
You are Mr. Tyrell, correct?
Yeah, that's correct, Stick.
Mr. LA sends his regard.
Yeah, well, he's a prick, so I'll send them right back to him.
You know who he's talking about?
Elias Morgan, one of the coyotes. Absolute asshole.
Right.
Real piece of shit.
Yeah. So if you are not a confident fist fighter or knife fighter, and a suspect pulls a knife on you, that doesn't mean when I say equivalent force that you have to
Fight back
consent
with
to
a
a
knife.
knife fight.
You
Right.
never
don't
have
think
to
I'd be
knife
doing-
fight.
I don't think I'd be doing that anytime soon.
Exactly. And me neither. If someone pulls a weapon, regardless, they're getting shot if I'm making the arrest. I'm not about to meet that kind of force with force that means I'm gonna get hurt. But
I don't
what
like
we're
to be that
meaning
person.
is don't bring a goddamn posse of 5 to arrest one person armed with a knife. You know, like, you bring a
Let's not
Gatling
waste
wagon.
resources, shall we?
Exactly. You bring a Gatling wagon when it warrants it. You know,
Not to a hostage exchange for gators, for example.
yeah, that is not an appropriate equivalence of force.
Why does it always involve gators? I don't understand. I've
don't
never
know.
seen such a state so fascinated with these creatures.
Yeah, honestly, it's hard to explain Strawberry and Blackwater at the moment. Fuck, at the moment, ever, really.
And even when you're using a Gatlin wagon, your job is not to mow people down with the Gatlin wagon. You're just gonna explode some motherfuckers.
You're just there to Provide suppressing
Control it.
fire. Keep
Everybody in the area.
keep their heads down so other marshals can move in and try to make some arrests. Now, again, it's figuring out what the appropriate level of response is to a given situation. Like the other day when we had Bill and that other suspect, Frankie. Well, outlaw. She's not a suspect at the moment in anything I've got. Running from us.
Ooh, I might have something on her.
Okay. Well, she didn't
might
have.
have robbed Richard Garland.
Oh my God, we are going to die.
No, we're fine. We're getting off the boat. This is the place to do it.
Okay, there we go. Now, if I'm in direct confrontation with Avery Bryce or Jesse Sleet, my judgment is that there is not going to be a peaceful way to de-escalate that situation because they know the outcome is Sisika and they have told me point blank to my face that they would rather have another last stand in a dead-end canyon than ever go back to Sisika.
Right.
So, in that case,
Not a lot of negotiating there.
they've already made it clear there is not negotiation to be had anymore. Bill, on the other hand, I still have hopes that there could be some options for negotiating. Maybe not at the moment because he has so many warrants to his name, but sometimes it could be possible. So, I elected in that
you have lots of
situation.
hope for Bill. They're in love.
We date.
I was
Well,
going to say, I have heard of the dates.
we would if he ever turned up when I turn up, but he just lies and stands me up all the time and then says I stood him up, and it's awful.
That must be devastating for you.
Yeah.
It's really hard for them.
It's
How
rough.
heartbreaking.
Especially since Tyrell's got a fake wife.
She's real.
You have mentioned that twice now. How do we know she's fake?
If
I've never
anybody ever
seen her.
says to you, I got a wife that lives in Tennessee. Okay.
I see. You've never met her, have you?
No.
How is your wife in Tennessee?
Still alive and well in Tennessee, last I heard when I went back to visit.
With his mama.
That's true too.
I do believe he's got a mama.
She's real. Yeah,
You're the
Is
wife?
a man this fucked up that didn't have a mama?
The wife or you? Oh, yes, actually. Very much so.
Okay.
Usually worse.
Oh my
No,
God.
it's the ones with mamas you gotta worry about.
I suppose for you, yes.
See, Langston, he ain't got no mama.
He's fucked up.
I was going to say, I could tell.
But his issues, that's daddy issues right there.
Is that why he hates your judge?
I think so.
Oh.
Which
Judge
judge?
Atkinson is my favorite judge.
I see.
Judge Daddy.
Interesting name.
I
Mhm.
love Judge Daddy. I saw Judge Daddy on the day of my wedding. I said to him, "Goodbye, Judge Daddy." No, he did congratulate me, though. It was very kind.
So,
And then Langston
Yeah.
tried to pass over his badge so he could go murder Judge Daddy.
yeah,
Oh.
that was awkward.
imagine that
he's
would
the
go
jealous.
well.
He's the jealous type.
So essentially, neither Stuart Langston should be left alone with Judge Atkinson for
I'm
wildly opposite reasons.
I need to get your husband's telegram. I don't have it.
It's 75557.
Honestly, I'm kind of mad at how good it got when he changed his name.
It was the first try too.
It's awful. Gail, thank you so much.
Exceptionally lucky.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because
wasn't
he
too
married
bad.
me.
So, all that said, next up is talking about posse riding, which is a fun one that we could probably learn a little bit more about by seeing who's on the bounty board here in town.
We scratched over it last week, I think.
Yeah, we talked a little bit about it. And it's all relevant. It's about force. It's about, how many people do you need to really chase down a wanted fugitive? What is their crimes? What is their bounty? What is their last known location? Are they hiding out in Thieves Landing with 34 murders on their head? Or
Avery Bryce.
okay, well, Bill's still in Annisburg, but
Anything good?
yeah, this one could be interesting. Okay, let's go see who's here. No luck on
You get my
Bill?
telegram?
I did.
Just now? When? You never telegraphed me.
No, I'm talking about him.
We already established
Yeah, well, I
this,
seen
Posey.
Rhodes.
Last seen in Rhodes?
Mm-hmm. He's $654. I haven't looked at Bill in a while, and I haven't got a response from.
Bill's still in
Galway.
Annisburg.
I was gonna pull it down, to be honest with you.
Well, we could go either way. We could go look for Bill as a group, or we could go, just me and Delphine, go look for this 5'11" person. Well, actually,
Me and
3 of
Cliff.
us could go look for him. Depends what you're doing with your bounty there, Langston.
I was gonna pull it. I've only got like 45 minutes max
Yeah, might as well then.
left in me.
There's still a $96 one if he does bring him in.
$96 ain't bad.
Yeah, it's payday. It's more than I'll make today, I guess. Unless we catch this other one. Which I probably just have time for. And we still gotta talk about basically this whole thing. Making a posse, going after people.
Well, I'm gonna check out Ansburg because I don't like that he's up there. It makes me nervous.
Well, in that case, we may as well ride with you. Because
Perfect.
what are you going to do if you find him and 4 of his friends on your own? Be nervous?
No, I'm gonna talk to him.
Okay, we're going to try de-escalation verbally. And damn, we
Lacey,
shoot
you
Bill.
pulling that bounty down and coming with us?
Yeah, I'm gonna put the money in the Evans locker, I think.
All right.
Your jump was not as cool as mine.
It wasn't. Though after a trip to Sissiker, I think we probably should stable up and
Very much, yes.
brush the swamp gas off. I'll take one last look at that 96 one. Oh, okie dokie. Alright, easy.
After coming back from Siska, it's always a good idea to get your horse checked over by a stable boy.
Good to know. I might go do that now then.
Yeah, that's where we're headed. As you can see, they are all wildly agitated and pissed off at us. And this is how the marshals started a brawl at the stable hands. What? Oh, what is it? How bad?
Oh, I saw this earlier, but there wasn't really much to go on.
It's Jesse Sweet.
Was it connected to someone else?
Posey,
What?
do we need to reach? That's not Jesse Sweet.
Who do you think it is? Who's the spearmint gum wrapper?
Wait, you serious right
Jesse
now?
Sweet is Red Rockets.
Yeah, I know this. That gum wrapper was at the house, though.
Yeah.
Who is
It's
it?
a coyote that's not sweet.
It's blonde.
Yeah,
It's your Emma doppelganger.
it's Frankie.
Oh, the one I don't know. I hate that.
That's Frankie,
Oh.
and that horse is injured because she ran from me and Delphine.
Frankie was in my house? I don't even know that bitch.
We going to
Hey,
Annisburg?
self-righteousness gets you. Posey,
What?
are we going to Annisburg? This seems like the wrong direction.
It is. We're
It
gonna turn
is
up here.
the wrong direction? Okay, good to know.
She wanted anyway. Tyrell,
Yeah?
is Frankie wanted anyway?
Not that I saw.
Does she have a record?
She should
That's
do. I put one in for her when I caught her at the train robbery. Unless it's another bill situation.
I mean,
Alright, we're gonna turn right.
alright.
So,
Yeah, I mean, I've not seen any bounties that could be her. Or,
I don't think I have. There could have been some in Saint Denis, but I haven't seen any up for a while. Doesn't mean she didn't pay them off, I guess.
that would actually be good. She's got a record that would have, even if they were paid off, they would have attributed them to her.
Could be worth checking.
Turning left up here.
So, in terms of the lesson, officially now we can call this a policy, and we can say Posey is in charge of this policy. And that ain't gonna change. Unless there are, obviously, exceptional circumstances. Leadership can step in if we think that someone's actually, you know, breaking SOP or gonna
You can
get
do
some,
something incredibly stupid.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But generally speaking, just because you don't agree with the way it's run, it ain't your call to argue with it with the posse leader. You can bring it up afterwards to leadership and escalate the situation appropriately, but
Quietly with the person leading.
Right.
or with your leadership to bring to their leadership. Essentially, if it
Saddle,
ain't
that's not wild, it's saddled, but
over
I believe
there,
it belongs to that ranch, though.
yeah,
There's usually a few tied horses there.
that's a saddler.
yeah. There's sometimes just a horse over there from the ranchers.
Okay.
There's two, I think. There's one in the field and there's one in the pen.
Usually one.
Yeah.
So say a civilian was in your posse group. There are specific rules for civilians in posses. So let me read you in as if you were a civilian.
Alright.
I haven't heard Posey's speech. All right, I'm looking forward to this.
Alright, we're posseed up. I'm going to deputize you as part of this posse. If you can't see or hear me, you are no longer deputized. I pull first, you pull second. So don't pull if you don't see me pull. We're going in on this. Non-violent is normally basically my speech. Of course, it changes person to person based on who I'm deputizing and who I'm with.
Right.
For
I
me-
suppose there's different
say-
levels of trust with different people.
Exactly. And, you learn a little bit when you're working with people more often what their skill sets are and what their comfort is with certain situations. And you might also know, like, who it's appropriate to deputize. Maybe some people have too many connections to certain groups, even though they ain't necessarily part of it.
Like
And in-
Alex.
Yeah, in any other
Never
situation,
deputize Alex.
no. He's not gonna be someone that you want. He will not ask to be
He won't do it
deputized
anyway.
either. Yeah.
I was going to say, would he actually agree to it? Doesn't really strike me as the sort of person that would.
No, he's good for a chat, but trained a horse for him recently.
A couple of things I would tend to add into that is obviously what Posey said, making sure that they are under no questions that they are not to pull their gun out. But if people fire upon us, feel free to return fire.
Mm-hmm.
And don't ask me who to shoot. If you're going to return fire, you need to be competent enough to pick your targets and take care of your situation. But if you realize you are the last person standing, don't try and be a hero. Get the fuck out of there and go get us some help.
Right.
But you learn throughout how different people are. I used to deputize a group of guys, and I would say a lot of things that I wouldn't say to a regular person. Like, do not use dynamite.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Things like stay with the group is a pretty common one. If you break off, you're no longer deputized.
If you can't see or hear, it's
Yeah, if you
generally-
can't see or hear me, you're no longer deputized.
Yeah.
So say we're at a posse right now. Langston rides over to the train tracks and rides back, and he's just deputized. I would have no issue with that. Even though for a moment he probably wouldn't be able to hear me, I can see him, he can see me.
But if Langston said he's riding to Emerald Ranch to check on something and then comes back, you would need to re-deputize him.
Re-deputize.
Right. And then I'm assuming that there needs to be some sort of verbal acknowledgement between the two parties.
Yes.
Yeah. And for
I
some,
almost
if you...
always say, do you understand?
Yeah. And for some, if it's a regular thing that you have some people that you trust that ride with you all the time, there can also be a bit of a shorthand when it comes to that deputization.
Alright, you're good to go. You're deputized.
Hey, you, we doing this? Yes. Okay, good. You're deputized. You know the rules. Don't break them.
Mm-hmm.
So don't bring paper cutout stars and hand them out.
No.
No.
They would love that, though.
Please don't do that.
Why do I feel like a lot of people in these states would get a complex if you did that?
Oh my god. They'd
would
start
be a
wearing them all the time, even when they were nowhere near you.
There's also the last man standing rule, which is if everyone who's an actual woman is down, you run for the hills. Nearest town, get help.
That's what
You
I was...
don't
I
try and
said that,
finish the
yeah.
fight off.
Yeah. Don't try and be a hero. Get help. As marshals, we have a very useful tool at our disposal, which is the deployment of sniper member of the posse.
Sorry, it's an untrained horse.
So, as a marshal, when you are a full marshal and you're in a posse, you can be designated by the posse lead to provide overwatch with a rolling block or carcano. But there are rules of engagement. You must be acknowledged by the posse leader, as in somebody has to do the fucking talking. Let the posse that we're going up against know that we have a sniper somewhere out there, and they are now informed that if they continue to fuck around and don't come in peacefully, you will be cleared to open fire. At which point you need to be able to see from your overwatch position the posse leader, so you can tell that they have given you the signal that you are now clear to engage should shit go sideways. Generally speaking. Yeah, go ahead.
This is only restricted for very extensive situations.
Very serious situations.
Yeah. Because again, that sniper is clear to shoot to kill. They're not just there to fire warning shots. And generally speaking, the signal is, for most of us, something like the removal of the posse leader's hat. So if I take my hat off, and you can see through your scope or your binoculars that I have removed my hat, you know you are now cleared to engage if that situation turns violent. Or if you see shots fired down on the ground, essentially. That doesn't mean you need to open fire straight away. It just means that you are cleared to fire if you need to.
With a sniper, you always want a clean shot. Not willy-nilly.
Yeah, you need to make sure you are at a distance and a range that you can shoot to kill. Clean kill. So, if Posey the posse leader here decides to designate one of us as a sniper while she goes and talks to Bill and his friends that we might find up at her house or wherever. But then, oh my god, what the hell? But then, before Posey's taken her hat off, Bill and his friends open fire. What do you do as the sniper?
I would assume to return fire.
No.
That is correct.
It's not.
No, that is not correct.
That is incorrect,
Why?
Posey.
If the
you
signal
haven't,
has not been given, the sniper cannot open fire.
you need
So
to
you
go down.
just become like a support instead.
You can get down off your sniper position and move in like any other marshal, but you are not cleared to open fire with your long arm
Right.
from
Oh,
a
yeah,
sniping
duh.
position.
Yeah. Because then you don't know if I've alerted anybody that there's a sniper.
Right. Okay.
Because it is important, as the posse leader, to also let people know.
Yeah.
To say, there's a sniper on the hill.
Generally,
You
you
don't
want to
have to tell
open
them
with
where.
that. You don't have to say where. You can just say
Yeah.
we have.
We have a sniper.
They are watching your position. They are trained, and they are cleared to fire, to shoot, to kill. So please
take
don't
tracks,
do
by the way.
anything stupid. And then take off your hat, and then the sniper is cleared to shoot to kill. Obviously, as the posse leader, you are responsible for everything that then happens in that scenario. Even if somebody else in the posse might outrank you, you are still responsible for whatever happens. And sometimes, as we have all found out, it isn't always easy to be the posse lead when there are members of the posse that you know outrank you and have much more experience in those situations than you do.
I can imagine it's very stressful.
Not everybody's got brass nuts like me.
that's one way to put it. I think Langston might feel a little hurt by that way to put it, but
I mean, I'm not going to talk about that.
We're just gonna, brush past that one.
But don't escalate situations unnecessarily, because you are responsible for everyone in that posse. Especially if you've got civilians in that posse. Or if they have civilians that are hostages or whatever.
You know, I've heard a deputization speech that included, "Is your gun loaded?" Sometimes you gotta, you know.
You gotta
Check all
know.
the boxes.
Was Deputy
It
Green in that
changes-
posse?
Yes.
Yeah. Poor thing.
To be fair, it doesn't really shock me. I think if I was with people that I didn't know at all, one, I'd be considering whether the fact I even created a posse or not.
Mm-hmm.
But two, being that I think I would just be ticking all the boxes to make sure that they knew everything.
I
Just
had
in
someone
case.
once tell me, someone that I didn't want to deputize, that I had to deputize, told me that he had heard the speech before many times by another marshal. I love my fellow marshals. I trust them with my life. I do not trust that she had given the proper speech.
Right.
So I still said it.
Yeah.
I let him know my expectations for the posse.
Yeah, I
Good
think that's
say-
very appropriate. Especially if it's the first time you've worked with somebody.
Mm-hmm.
Not only that, but it's covering your own arse.
Come in your own ass. It's the truth. One of the beautiful things about this marshal service is that we are all varied and interesting, and we all have our strong suits. But we also all have things that we could work on. Knowing those things
true.
about our coworkers, who honestly feel more like family sometimes, it's important. Oh, this is my house, by the way. Langston also lives here, against my will.
And a bunny rabbit.
I was going to say, and the rabbit that he
Mhm.
so clearly loves.
One sec.
Oh,
Did you just shoot a black bear?
yeah, he did.
Are those fresh prints?
No, these are the old ones.
Okay. All that being said, the reason tools like having a sniper in your posse or anything like that exist is because
Come on
you
in.
should be given your posse every advantage you think you need and you can before entering into dangerous situations.
So, this is my house. That's Langston shooting outside, as always.
Very nice.
Oh, thank you.
Cozy.
This is my rabbit's room.
Cozy posy.
This is Harold.
Oh, he really does have a gun.
Oh,
Yes.
is it loaded?
Yes.
He's
It's for
extremely
safety.
large. Wow.
Yeah, he's it's a breed thing. I got some books on him.
Hmm.
Rabbits, that is, from the library.
So what breed is he?
Flemish giant, I believe.
That would explain the size.
He's a big guy. He's quite
So-
handsome.
So you're having problems with these people, rabbit,
The
or
rabbit.
is it just like a? Is it just like a back and forth that happens?
Well, part of the problem is a bunch of them, well, not a bunch of them, sorry. Elias Morgan, that one that Stick was talking about, Him and his family used to live here.
Oh, I see.
No, it's just
Yeah,
a scene.
and he didn't. It's not that he didn't take well to us living here.
But since he's found a new family, he's feels like he's emboldened to try and be an ass about it, basically.
He's left notes in the past. He has an issue with my rabbit. He wants to eat him. Don't take his gun.
An issue with a rabbit.
Langston, he needs that gun.
No, he doesn't. He's a rabbit.
Damn.
Are you feeling emasculated by a rabbit with a gun, Langston?
No, I just doubt Posey knows firearm safety.
That's
I
awesome.
Gun's
do
probably
too.
loaded.
Of course it was
Also, the
loaded. The
gun's
rabbit's got to protect himself.
Rabbit can't pull back a hammer.
Posey didn't think that part far enough through.
The gun's in there for if I'm wrapped around the rabbit sleeping. You know, when
If you don't have
somebody's
your
in
own
New
gun on
Austin,
you, if you don't have your own gun on you, there's an issue.
Just
it's the
also
rabbit
true.
gun. Langston does put guns under the pillows.
That
I put
just
my gun under the pillow
seems
or on the
fair.
nightstand.
You see, I don't have to worry about
Hang your
things like
gun
that.
belt on the end of the bed like a normal person.
Well, you see, I can't reach that when Elias Morgan climbs in the window to cut our throats.
Okay, you hang it off
True.
the headboard beside you, or so. I don't know. Jesus Christ.
Perhaps you need one of those tripline traps when he climbs in the window.
Yeah, just
I
put
was
a
gonna put
nice
a-
thin wire right across head height as he goes through the window.
I was gonna put a bear trap outside the window.
If
Yeah,
these
okay.
windows were open, Posey would jump through them. That's the issue.
That's awkward.
Correct.
Yeah.
I will.
Right.
Decapitating your bride, that would be bad.
Are you one of those people, Posey, that would set up a bear trap and then walk into it yourself the next day?
Most likely.
Yeah, that seems like it tracks.
Yeah, I'm very comfortable in my home.
Okay. Well, before we digress too far, I think we've pretty much wrapped up everything for today. For your week 3, obviously, oh, you weren't there initially though. We were talking before you arrived with Deputy Green about some things like how our priorities as marshals are going to be different to priorities of local law and things like that. And you and I have kind of touched on this before, but allowing a dangerous criminal to escape is a threat to public safety. So, the example we were using earlier with Deputy Green, because she has this case going on right now with the orphan, the serial killer.
Right, yes.
If he has a hostage, one individual hostage whose safety is at risk because you are in a standoff with him, as a marshal, your priority is going to be making sure that he no longer poses a threat to anybody else. If you let him go to save that one hostage's life, chances are, with his record, with his warrants, with whatever is on him, you would know that that person is going to just go and kill somebody else somewhere else. So you're just trading one life for another at that point, and that ain't your call to make. Bring that criminal to justice if you can. Essentially. Obviously, every situation's a bit different. Every criminal's record and every criminal that you will encounter, or every person you will encounter, you will have a different repertoire with. What are they doing now?
Who knows? Honestly, with those two?
Wait, is that even them shooting?
Perhaps not. Oh no, they're running. I don't think it was them.
Well, you should probably start running.
recognize them?
Is that Adrian?
Perhaps he's out here looking for them.
I'm fine. I was just seeing if this lady was okay.
Are you okay?
And again.
Oh, it is
Hello
Adrian.
again?
Okay.
Hope we
Just
don't
heard the
find-
gunshots and came to see what was going on.
No, yeah, I was running by and it fucking scared me to death. I'm used to gunshots being that close aimed at me.
Mm-hmm. I just wasn't sure from a distance if you were with that lady or not. I couldn't tell who you was.
Hunting. Oh. Yeah, proved it.
Mm-hmm. No luck on Bill.
Emerald a little while ago, but
Emerald. Okay.
yeah, when I went to check, no one was there.
Maybe he's going to burn down my place instead of theirs then. So. You'll get the hang of it. I would not put any pressure on you to go starting any posses anytime soon. Obviously you can't until you're
Not particularly.
not a PDM anymore, but just try and join as many as you can though to get a feel for how
Completely
everybody
rested
works.
again, then go full boss again.
That was what's her name out of Van Horn, right?
Graves.
Graves, that's right. Yeah, she shot me once.
Yes.
Graves. Interesting
It
name.
was
Oh,
mostly actually not entirely her fault, but Jennings' fault.
okay. You say yeah, but you did lose, what's his name that one time?
Wait, what?
Did you?
He's
Joanne
complaining
had
about the
ride a
way I
horse.
ride a horse.
Oh,
Martial Games, she kept galloping the horse every time the horse got even slightly rested.
that's abuse, isn't
Which
it?
which put us
Feels like animal abuse.
and then right
Not
now
exactly.
I'm
Call it
pulling out
abuse.
the time. No, it's poor racing technique. It's even worse.
I'm not a racer.
I suppose it depends on what the horse is trained for as well, because if you're training endurance, then technically speaking, that would be the right thing to do.
I'm bad at racing.
Sprint racing, however, probably won't help you.
And
I'm
my
a
next
damn
point was
good,
you lost
barrel racer.
what's his name? Who's the guy? He talks in hyperbole all the time. He's like a con man, but he's not very
Huh?
good at it. He comes around every so often. He's got a mustache. He's kind of balding. It's like black hair. Des Moines, that's
Des
it.
Moines.
Oh my god, I hate that man.
Speaks in hyperbole.
He
Mhm.
does.
That sounds incredible.
Yeah, he is.
He's a fucking asshole.
He once
I
shot
love
his
him. He's
horse
my
in
favorite.
the face.
He shot my horse in the face.
He sounds very amusing. to
He
watch.
got drunk and angry and shot his own horse in the face.
He walked up and shot my horse in the face directly in front of me.
Jesus.
And then a
In his
man with
defense, he-
tuberculosis beat his ass.
In his defense, he thought that it was someone else's horse.
Yeah, but still.
Sounds
In his defense, I love him. Mainly because
No.
I chased him, and I chased him on a half-trained Turkmen, caught up to his fully trained Mustang, and then he gave up immediately. So I didn't have to shoot anyone.
He's the uncle of a man that I knew quite well.
Jesus
I'm gonna
Christ.
go out there and I'm gonna put a round at her feet.
She
wish
will
she
shoot
wouldn't do that.
you.
There is an elk in the yard. There is an elk in the yard. There is an elk in the yard.
Do you think she'll
Alright.
chase it up here?
I hope
You-
not.
Where's the elk?
Oh my god. Okay, well, while you have all these upstanding members of the leadership at your disposal, do you have any questions, Delphine?
Not particularly. No. I'm sure I'll have a few at some point, but I can telegram them to you. All the others.
Always.
Doesn't really
Yeah,
matter at this point.
absolutely.
Alright, I'm going to bed. You'll have fun. When you find Bill in 2 minutes, don't die.
I'll send you a telegram all about it. Apparently, Adrian thinks he was at Emerald. Which, coincidentally, is the direction I am headed in next.
Well,
So, feel free to go wherever you need to go. Week 3's lesson is basically done and dusted. In terms of homework, try and reach out to SDM Drummond. See if you can't meet with him. See what he wants to do about this case.
Right.
If he thinks it's appropriate, maybe Blackwater will keep it. If he wants to take it, I'll ask if you can observe as a secondary from Lemoyne. But if he doesn't have the capacity to take it, let him know that we could keep looking into it.
right. I will do that. In the
'Cause, yeah,
meantime,
technically, it should be our case. Tell you what, though, as sort of the extra homework on this, we're gonna get into the warrant process. You've seen the drafts of what those should look like. You've gone over
I
some of
have.
them.
hmm,
Prepare a warrant as if you've identified who this Adrian Haas is, and you've got all the evidence there. Figure out what kind of charges you can put on him for this, and write up a mock warrant for Adrian Haas.
okay.
Put it in the Lemoyne case file that we've got for now. Or just keep it in your own notes and show it to me next time. Next week will be your test as
Oh.
well.
I wasn't sure whether it was next week and then it was just the week after, but
Oh, you do your test on week 4, I believe. That's right, Posey?
Correct.
what can
That sounds right.
What can I expect?
You can take your sweet time with it, though. It's easy.
Okay.
There's one trick question, but it's really, it's not really a trick. It's just that somebody phrased something weird as shit.
Instructions a little unclear.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, that's good to know.
But you can take it as many times as you want.
I suppose I'll have my head in a book for the next week.
I don't believe in studying, and I did great.
It's good to know. Unfortunately, I don't have that. My brain is not wired that way. Unfortunately, I will be anxiously panicking about this for the next week and a half, despite the fact that it's only a week away. But it is what it is. Anyway, I will head back down to the city to tie off a few things that I need to finish up for the day, and I
Alright.
will.
You got
See.
Drummond's telegram?
I do, yes. He was one
Okay.
of the people I pestered when I was looking for a job, actually.
Yeah, fair enough. Alright, yeah, work on that mock warrant. I'm sure you'll be great.
In the meantime, thank you for letting me into your home, Posey, and thank you for this week's lesson. I'm sure it will come in handy next week.
From what I hear, Posey's home is just a thoroughfare of scum and villainy, so... Oh, and
the
now we're
rabbit.
trapped in here.
Don't forget the rabbit.
Oh, that's Langston. He locks the doors.
Doesn't seem to matter
I'm
to...
developing a habit similar to that.
Yes.
Thank
it's a
you,
good habit to
Posey.
have. Of course. Plus, it's not scum and villainy, it's the smell of sex.
Ugh, worse.
I feel a physical reaction to that. It's not nice.
Not a good one. I am unfortunately not likely to be around much between now and next week, but all the others will always happily answer any questions. Feel free to tag in on any posses they may be forming, any criminals they may be going after.
I'll send my questions to either of those two, I suppose, in the next week and a half, though.
Yeah.
I'll most likely send them to you as well, but
Oh,
I'll
you
just
can-
not expect a response.
Oh no, feel free to drop anything by the house as well that you need answered. You can just drop a letter right on my doorstep. I'll send a runner back with an answer. It's fine.
Good to know.
But otherwise, yeah, if they're around, pick their brains too. Honestly, before I was even a marshal, I hadn't even been hired, and I'd probably ridden in posses with damn near every state. I just wanted to, oh God.
Is it the same person from before?
Yeah, that's Graves.
Does that alarm you?
No, usually. She kind of doesn't want marshals in her business, so she tends to not get in ours, but... It is just slightly ominous that she's just sitting up there. Watching predatorily.
She might want you to feel that way.
I bet she don't like me much, generally speaking.
I have a feeling that not a lot of people are going to like me, and honestly, you can't really get any new, so...
I'm kind of okay with it, honestly. A lot more people at this job like me than at my old job, that's for sure. Millie, thank you so much for the roses. You're so kind. Honestly, we ain't here to be liked. It's great if you're the kind of person that can be liked and do this job. But generally speaking, we don't do this job to be liked. We do this job because we want to keep people safe and we want to make the world a little bit safer. At least that's why I try and do it. Oh my gosh, even more. Millie, thank you so much. I also do this job because I believe a lot of people out there that do wear a badge and have done so for the wrong reasons in the past. And I think the only way to give service like this a better reputation than just being a bunch of murderous bastards is by actually trying to do a better job at it. I genuinely, yeah.
Respectable way to think about it. When you say doing it for the wrong reasons, what do you mean?
We've all seen it, and you would have seen it in the army as well. Those people that do something like wear a sheriff's badge, wear a marshal badge because they want the power, they want the reputation, they want to be feared rather than respected. And they believe it gives them impunity to do all kinds of things in the name of the law or in the name of service. And that simply just isn't the way the law or the world works. They seem to think it does. Zeke, what's up, dude? We really did miss you today. I wanted to catch you, but by the time we got around to it, you were far gone. I think we're pretty fortunate that there aren't those kind of people around here. At least
Very much
not
so.
these days. There may have been a few in the past, but even local law haven't been like that in a long time. Everyone that I've seen, fuck, even some of the criminals down in Armadillo, the Tumbleweed that have picked up the badge, did it because they wanted more for their community. You know? They had a good reason to pick up the badge, not just for corruption or, you know, helping their friends sweep crimes under the rug, so to speak. They genuinely wanted to try and make sure their town was the version of their town that they wanted it to be. And I can respect that.
Surely that should be seen as progress then.
I would say so. A lot of other people don't necessarily agree, and I can see why. There certainly did become an element of risk to then us, for example, marshals, having to do our federal jobs in jurisdictions like that where people didn't necessarily respect our authority to do our jobs. But I still think a lot of them did it for the right reasons. Sometimes that right reason was just making sure the army didn't step in and take over the town and drive everyone out.
God knows that wouldn't go well. Does anything like home?
No, it doesn't. It never does.
People do not like living under martial law.
Anyone that's been in the army knows that. Howdy, Graves. Anyone that's been in the army knows that the army is absolutely awful at running pretty much anything, especially a town.
I think it's more that the goals of the army and the goals of the town do not often align.
Also very true. So
Which
Graves
usually
runs the
leads-
saloon down there in Van Horn, by the way.
Right.
Hence the hunting.
You do that on her own?
No, there's a fella named Guy there as well.
Right.
Yeah. He
The other
tends to
Van
take a
Horn
more...
locals that I should know about.
There are the two mostly that would spring to mind. Various groups move in and out of Van Horn, but I ain't seen anyone sitting up shop there in a while.
Good to know.
Yeah, honestly. So, I will probably bid you adieu at this crossroads if you're headed to the city. I'm gonna
I
make
am
my
going to go
way
down the other way.
to New Hanover.
Right. Well, take care of yourself. And
Yeah. You be safe, and you're doing good
I'll
work.
see you next week.
I
Thank
think.
you. Appreciate it.
Who the
I'm a very patient teacher.
Just Graves again. Honestly, thought that was someone completely different from this distance until I looked through the binoculars, but that's alright.
She's exceptionally protective.
She really is.
Or
She
seems to be.
does not want us spying on Van Horn, and we have no reason to. We just happen to be going past.
Right. Okay. Take care of yourself. I will
Yeah.
see you next week if I don't see you before then.
You'll see me before your test, I hope. But definitely don't fucking hesitate to reach out, and don't bother. Don't feel bad to bother people, you know? I've given you a job to work that case, or at least to talk to Drummond about whether or not you should work that case with him.
Mm.
So don't hesitate to ask any questions you need to of him or of Posey or Langston as well.
Time to go be persistent.
Yeah.
Fingers
And
crossed Mr. P wakes up in the meantime as well. I feel like
if he
that's really
does,
going to
he
get
does.
us what we need.
that would help, yeah. But otherwise, yeah, just do a fake warrant as if it was definitely that Adrian Haas fellow. Based on the evidence that we've got so far, what would you charge?
Mm.
Give me a rough time and fine as well. Yeah. Reach
Okay,
out if you got
sounds
any
like a plan.
questions on the template or on the formatting. Anyone will be happy to help, I'm sure.
Will do.
Alright. Be
Alright.
safe.
Well, likewise.
Take care. Dude, I'm alright. Just gonna ride quietly toward home with Ty, and that'll be it for today, which also means that's pretty much it for this week, unfortunately. I've had to shift some medical stuff around tomorrow because I've got another fucking surgery on Thursday, which, I'm gonna be honest, it's a pretty intense surgery coming up on Thursday. They have to try and remove some skin cancer from my foot, and they've been trying to remove it for, what is this? We're in May, so like 3 months now, and it's not been successful so far. They keep missing the edges of it, so they keep having to dig deeper and wider around it. And obviously the issue is a foot isn't exactly a very easy place to keep digging at to cut something like cancer out of it. So if they don't get it this time, it's kind of scary because it could mean they have to do something like amputate my foot next time. Which, while I'm not exactly going to run around and play football anytime soon, I do quite like having 2 feet to stand on. Admittedly, I can't stand up very well or for very long, but I can stand up. And that's kind of a big deal. So, not looking forward to that necessarily, but fingers crossed Thursday they can dig deep enough and wide enough that they can get it out without, like, cutting down to the bone or something. And then all will be good. And I will be back next week, back to normal, back to 3 days a week schedule, and chasing all you filthy criminals around and having a good time. But, thank you for hanging out today. We have had a great time. It was good fun getting Delphine trained up for week 3. I think they're gonna make an absolutely wicked marshal. Can't wait to see what kind of trouble they can get into and what kind of criminal, scummy hunter they become. But yeah, it's been a bit of a tough week. I also got sick like Wednesday last week. As you can probably hear in my voice, that has triggered my typical winter cough, which just never quite goes away for like 6 weeks. I'm hoping this cough isn't that cough and this cough does actually resolve itself, but God knows. We shall see. Let me just check my telegrams, seeing as this is going to be the last time for like a week that I get to do this.
Hello there.
Okay, that was that message. Dude, thank you so much, man. I'm sorry Ty's gonna miss dates for like another week or so, but then maybe then we'll catch up with each other and make it happen. That was a fun little runaround you gave us the other day. Poor Frankie crashing off her horse. That poor little roadster. Or foxtrotter, rather. I'm not actually going to put up posters today because I'm not going to be around for like a week, so there's not much point having posters up saying Ty's available when he's not available. But basically, that is us for the day, my friends. Thank you so much for hanging out. I know I said this earlier, but genuinely, I really, really appreciate it when all of you being here when you can. Yeah, honestly, unless you pull a gun, I'm generally gonna be happy to ride and banter as much. Like, ask most of the coyotes. Like, ask Saf, ask Molly. I've ridden across the map just to chase people and banter. Unless you ride for like Thieves Landing or Van Horn, we can generally ride as far as it wants to go, as seems appropriate. Like, I'm not just gonna open fire. I'd much rather have a nice, like, long back and forth chase and enjoy the moment than end the chase in gunfire. Unless it looks like he's escaping to somewhere like Van Horn or Thieves Landing. I was impressed. You got away real well. I don't know how, but you did. It was awesome. Well done. Yeah, no, it was good though. It was good fun. I also was kind of deliberately trying not to catch up and make like a violent situation, especially because I had Saf with me. I had Delphine with me, and not wanting to like immediately force them into confrontation with coyotes. I was like, we're just gonna chase and see how it goes. But anyway, all y'all here, I just want to say thank you so much for being here. I know, especially over the last little while, it's been super sporadic. I try and broadcast 3 days a week when the little one's at daycare, but like with her being off for the last 10 days, I've not been here much at all. And before that, having surgeries myself and all these kind of things, like I know it's getting real sporadic, and I just really appreciate that when I'm here, y'all come by, y'all say hey, we hang out, we chase some criminals, we have some yarns. Just, yeah. Thank you so much, chat. I love you all, and I will keep you posted. Honestly, I will keep you all posted. I will be I'll be on Discord anytime anyone ever wants to chat. I am on Discord. I can be on there much more than I can be here in front of you all, because I can do that from my phone. So yeah. But anyway, for tonight, that is it. Speaking of a little monster, we gotta go get her from daycare. So I will see you all later. Thank you so much. I love you. And good night.